Do you not think there's like more important things happening in the world that's worth letting everyone know about? Like,
if it's true, right? Just for a moment, believe that or think of the possibility that it could be true. If it was true, then it would be the biggest lie. It would be the biggest lie. But he's obviously into the television. Nice artwork, Dean. I'm with Sarah and Dean.
Hi guys.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good.
very well.
Good. I see you wearing a new badge there. What's that badge about?
Conveniently, it's the beautiful David Weiss, Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock that as a move to equidistal map badge.
Yeah, he's done some good things with that app, David Weiss. So props to him, and he's been doing some really good conversations lately with Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, I've seen
She's
those.
pretty big,
Great
I think,
stuff.
and you know has a semi-normie audience in my view. So
She's
to
got
bring it
quite
to
a nice
them,
audience, hasn't she, to tap into?
Yeah. I saw he was on Alex Zek, and of course Infowars recently, famously. He was with Alex Jones. Yeah. Not that Alex Jones was buying it, but he was bringing it to a lot of people's attention.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, and even though Jones reckons, you know, as a kid he could see these planets in, you know, with a telescope. You know, he's not willing to hear that, oh, these are just lights. And they might be rendered into something that looks like a physical orb. But it's really just a light in the sky that we see. A flickering, vibrating, shimmering light. And we're given all sorts of straw men as to why it's real. That's my artwork already being spoiled. Hi guys. Earth is flat. Don't fear it. Don't fear it. Earth is flat. The pressure that you're using that straw to drink with that straw is proof that we need an enclosed environment to live in. Catch people's attention. Oh, I should say that. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Is it?
You alright, mate?
Who's that? Microphone.
Yeah, and a camera.
Oh, good, isn't it?
I'm doing a live stream on YouTube.
Is this a place in England?
Place in England?
No, to eat.
Oh, not in. I don't know about Coral. I don't think they. That's a betting shop. Yeah. So, welcome to the stream. I'm in Dorking with Sarah and Dean. And that's Dean HD if you're on YouTube. I got a couple of video clips of them playing some music this morning. One of them is an own. One doesn't need to be broke by the YouTube at the moment. It would be a 2-week shutdown, lockout. So I might play that in a few weeks. I've got a couple of things coming up in the not too distant future. I think the next noteworthy thing is a conversation with Dave Weiss on Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Prior to that, on Monday the 22nd, Andrea and I are offering a free masterclass for 2 hours from 8 o'clock. So check that out. We've got information on our previous video. You gotta kind of, when you're that age, you gotta be clever. You want to be clever with it. I don't like to I got a few of these actually. We did hang out with Dave Weiss recently, if you don't know, at the Sounds Beautiful Festival. So we had 4 days hanging out. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. Earth is flat, not a ball like they tell you. Space is fake. They've never been to the moon. We can't live outside of a pressurized container. Sorry, excuse me.
I don't want to go on that TV. Can't lie. Yeah, still on it.
Yeah, real.
What if this truth puts you at the center of the universe? That you are the reason for the creation? That everything is centered on each of us individually, and we are the most important thing in the
I'm
universe.
high as fuck.
Not evolved from apes, but created on purpose by your higher self. I was an atheist until the age of 47, and now I took DMT. Have you heard of DMT?
Oh, hell no, bro. We ain't talking about drugs now.
No, that's not a drug. It's a plant, and your body has got DMT in it, actually. Your lungs create DMT. The lungs create DMT. But it was on this experience that it showed me that we are much more than just evolved apes. We are the center of creation. So it's hard to believe, but water truly is level everywhere you look on Earth. It's always level, and then parallel to every other body of water on Earth. All bodies of water are parallel with each other. Well, gravity is an idea, right? It's called gravity. But when we take
gravity.
Well, it's a theory called gravity. It's a theory of gravity, right?
But it's called gravity because gravity basically pulls into the centre.
Yeah, which is
Can I ask you a question?
what is. Let me finish the point. Which is what is used to explain how it's possible to live on a ball when our physical reality doesn't allow us to be on the side of the ball any way other than this idea.
Alright, it's the shape of the
It goes like
dynamo.
that.
Let's give out lunar eclipses.
That's
is
a
it
bit
flat,
deep.
is it?
Let's just keep it the simple stuff.
This is straightforward science. Lunar eclipse. What happens during? Do you know what happens during a lunar eclipse?
Yes, I know what they tell us.
No. Tell me what you think happens, and I'll explain why
Well,
it
the
raises the
sun,
question.
the Earth is in front of the sun's rays, and it blocks the light getting to the moon. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you got the sun, you got the moon, and the Earth goes in between. Okay. So the sun casts a shadow
Yeah.
onto the moon through the Earth.
Yeah.
Right. Now, every year there are lunar eclipses. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Probably,
very it's
4 or 5. in a
something
year.
like I don't know what the numbers
Yeah.
are, but very rare to see one because they're all around the
Yeah.
place. Right. No matter where the lunar eclipse occurs on this planet, the shadow on the moon is always round. So if the Earth was flat, that would be impossible. Because at some point, you'd have a flat shadow on the moon. But because the Earth is effectively a sphere, no matter how the eclipse hits the moon, you will always see a circle.
So during
That's the first place to research.
So
I
at
think.
night when we see the full moon, we see an orb or a circle that is fully illuminated on all edges. But when we shine a light onto a ball, we find that we get a hot spot on the center of that point, and then it diminishes the light towards the edges. So that doesn't match our reality of what we actually see. And then the crescent on the moon, when I was a kid, I was 47 before I started questioning this. So I went through I raised children on the heliocentric model. So I know the model pretty much as well as anybody who's in the system who believes that. In fact, when I researched this in 2015, I had to go back and first test the model that I believe. And now that model came up short in so many different areas. You may not have time to hear all of those or want to hear all of those, but for me, my journey was, wow, there's so many questions here. So what am I left with? Well, I can test water to be level, and I cannot prove the Earth to be moving. Same as George Airy. When he did that experiment in the 1850s,
Whether the Earth
he
moves,
demonstrated that the lights are moving in the sky.
Whether the
what
Earth is moving or not is nothing
up
to
for
do.
grabs.
Whether or not the Earth is moving, it's a secondary issue to whether the Earth is round. Yeah.
No, they go hand in hand.
No.
They need to go hand in hand.
No,
If
we've
we're
got
not
to-
spinning,
we've got-
then the sun can't be turning through the circle.
Okay, let's just put that to one side.
You're going to have day and night.
You've got to
on the
you've got to
model.
deal with the geometry and then the
Yeah.
velocities
Yeah.
separately.
Okay.
Okay. On the geometry,
Yeah.
right? If the Earth was flat,
Yes.
right? If the Earth was completely flat,
You mean the water? Obviously, we've got mountains. You understand that we
I
understand.
understand.
that
No,
there
I
are
understand.
mountains.
Thought experiment. Thought experiment. If the Earth was completely flat, we have no mountains, no nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say New York is in that direction
Mm-hmm.
for argument's sake. If the Earth was flat,
Yeah.
right, with suitable telescope, I would be able to see New York.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
But
That's
it's
how
flat.
many thousand miles is that?
But if it's flat, it
How
doesn't
many
matter.
thousand miles is that?
It's 3,500 miles.
Okay, do you know the inverse square law?
If it's flat, but we can see things that are further away. Hang on. We can see things which are further away in space with a suitable telescope. So we use a suitable telescope on the Earth. If the Earth is flat, you will see eventually over the ocean.
Yeah.
You'll see. Let's say we basically put, for argument's sake, let's put the telescope in Cornwall, so you've got direct view across the Atlantic, right, to North America.
Yeah.
You would see New York.
Do you understand?
But we can't do that.
Okay. Do you
Can we?
what are the tallest buildings in New York?
I don't know.
100.
150 stories for argument's sake.
100
Yeah.
100, 100,
Oh, it doesn't
100
matter. Yeah. Whatever.
The point is
Yeah.
that just like anything we see experience in our world, the further we go away from something, the smaller it becomes. Right?
sure.
So once we're 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles, as you're wanting to say, then these things are infinitesimally small. So the ability to pick them up is limited. However, mountains are large. Yeah,
That's
mountains
very-
are much
so-
bigger
so
than cities.
how can-
yes?
okay.
Hold on, let me finish my point.
Yeah, okay,
So mountains are much larger than cities. How long how far do you think we've seen mountains for? Now that we're looking with high-powered cameras, what's the furthest recorded viewing of mountains? In
Well,
the distance?
I,
Do you know?
I have no idea, but
Let
I've
me
just
tell
come,
you the
I've
answer.
literally
Let
just
me
come
tell
back
you
from
the
the
answer.
Alps. I've just come back from the Alps, and what I can tell you, as you drive towards the Alps,
They loom up.
why do they loom
begin
up?
to- because as you get closer, so they double it. It's the inverse square law. So they're doubling in size as you go further away. As you're driving, I drove across last year. I drove across France towards the Alps, and you
They're
see
looming
from,
up because you're on a slight curve in the Earth,
Yeah.
and as you get closer, you can see more of the mountain.
So we can do
So,
that
but-
same
but say-
thought experiment. No, we can do that same experiment on a football field, a rugby field, something that's provably flat and level. And we can put an obstacle in the middle of that field and have a camera at a very low, very low, like right to the ground. And from the beginning of that journey, you don't see it. And then eventually the top of it starts to loom first, just like the spire in this town. The top of it looms first when you approach it, no matter how flat the space is. Everything in the distance will start to shrink down. The train is getting bigger and bigger as it approaches the station for the same reason. So 600 miles is how far people have recorded seeing mountains and being able to observe all the peaks and so on as you would see them on
But
Google Earth.
if you are right,
Impossible on the globe.
if you are right,
Impossible on
if
the
you are right,
It's not me. Other people have observed
if-
this.
if
I mean,
you
I-
and- if
to
you
be
and
honest with
other-
you, what got me into flat Earth was that when I started realizing that the formula, the curvature formula, to 8 inches per mile squared, didn't equate with what I'd seen through my lifetime. Where I'd seen things
let me
at
ask.
20,
Okay,
30
let me
miles
ask. Let
that
me
I
ask.
shouldn't.
Let me ask a slightly different question. Why would everybody, generations of scientists, going back to Copernicus, generations of academics, generations of people who are just amateur observers, whatever. Why would they all lie about this?
They would not lie about this. I agree with you.
Why would they
but
lie about
But just like you and I were brought up through a schooling system that said this is the theory and this is how it works. Same with evolution. This is the theory and this is how it works. We can't demonstrate in a lab. Just trust us.
You can
Now, the
demonstrate
kids
it, but
who've
you can
got-
demonstrate it. So you're saying they're not
Hold on.
lying; they're just wrong.
No, they're misinformed. Misinformed. So
But
let me
doing the
pause you for a
who's
moment
doing
and
the
consider in
misinforming?
the mainstream science.
Who's doing
that we had-
doing the misinforming? This is the bit. This is what I need to get at.
Well, how about this? Newtonian gravity, which is mass attracting mass, apple falling on head, was realized by scientists not to explain the model once they introduced the idea that the sun was going around us. Because back in the day, they were geocentrists. You know, if you go back 1,000 years, everyone was geocentric.
That was why Copernicus was condemned and all the rest. I get all
you know,
that.
so the Earth is at the center now. But then once they started having to calculate all of these space bodies flying around, they had to get rid of Einsteinian and go for Newtonian. So what happens is youngsters come into science and they're taught Newtonian, whilst the old men are grumbling about, this Newtonian claptrap doesn't work for us. However, they then take that on, and that becomes the belief. Now, if you study quantum physics, those scientists...
Look, can we just keep on the geometry? Let's keep on the geometry.
Those scientists are mocking
Let's keep on the
Newtonian.
geometry, the
Because
basic
in
geometry.
quantum physics, they'll tell you that the gravitational force is 1 to the power of 34 weaker than the electromagnetic force. So they just go along with it.
Here is my block of cheese. Let's just say this is a sphere for the purposes of argument, right? This is the Earth.
Yeah.
I haven't got a sphere, right? So let's use a block of cheese.
Okay.
Right. We're here in the UK, right? I flew last year to here, which is Auckland in New Zealand. And then from Auckland in New Zealand, I then flew to San Francisco.
Yep.
And then from San Francisco, I flew here, coming back round to, I don't know where, Munich.
Okay.
No, I beg your pardon, my wife flew to Munich. I flew back to London.
Okay.
Right? How would that be possible if the Earth was flat?
There is a great guy who's written some great books
How would
on
that be possible?
demonstrating. Well,
Unless,
if I was to say,
how would that be possible unless they are fixing the compasses and they're just lying to us?
no,
And-
they've wrapped the flat map around a ball and made it all fit. However, compasses, if you're in Cape Town, it's a 24-degree declination from what's true. So the compass says go this way. No, reality says north is not that way. It's 24 degrees off, and all the way up the coast, east coast of Africa. So it kind of gets less and less. So no, there's loads of things that are wrong with that. In terms of flying around, I'll give you the example of driving around London. You know the M25 around London, the main highway
Yes,
around
yeah.
London, right? Well, you can drive around that all day long. That doesn't make it a ball that you just travel
No,
around.
because it's flat.
But
It's a
you can
flat, it's a
travel-
flat two-dimensional motorway.
Absolutely.
It
Well,
exists.
our planes
for-
are doing
for-
the same thing. Now, I've flown a lot to South Africa in my lifetime.
Yeah, but you haven't got.
And
That's not the same as going all the way round to New Zealand and back,
I accept that.
flying eastwards.
I accept that. But
Right,
if
then
the
we're on the
Earth
same
was,
page. It has to be a
I
wall.
accept. Well, if the Earth was an LP, if you think about the known plane, the map of the flying map they used in the 1950s looks like this sort of flat disc, and you can fly around a circular disc using a magnetic center. So if I mimic that in a swimming pool, which is something that the globe can't do, is if I took an Olympic swimming pool and dropped 5 or 6 big boulders in and said, these are my continents, you'll circumnavigate those using a central needle.
But
or a
where's
central
that
magnetic
magnetic centre then?
north. Well,
As in,
mainstream
you're
science is-
saying in the centre of the LP.
yeah.
But then that doesn't make sense because we have a magnetic field which goes like that
Correct.
around the
So,
sphere.
yeah, so I go further and say it's not material Earth, it's actually electromagnetic.
Right.
And in nature, what you see is apples and oranges, right? That's what you see in nature. So if I was to say that my universe was an apple, and the skin of the universe was some impenetrable barrier that I couldn't get through, and everything inside of the skin was moisture or water. Some of it's super light that I can breathe in, some of it's super dense that I cannot breathe in. That's the heavier stuff at the bottom of that system. Now, right at the center of that, you have the core. And the core of that would be where I would say your magnetic attraction is for the whole system. Because as an electromagnetic torus, it's spinning around, energy is spinning around and being drawn
Are you with
into it.
these guys, yeah?
Yes, we are.
So why is it? You said I asked you about why would people lie to us, and you said they're not. But you've got a thing there saying lies. So I'm a bit confused
Yes.
about what your position
Yes.
is.
No, well, I think that like a Muslim preacher, a Christian preacher, these men are not lying, but I don't agree with what they're saying. I
But it
don't
says
know about
lies
you.
there.
Yeah, because on the tell lie vision is designed as a programming tool by the people. I know this is hard maybe to get your head around. 10 years ago, I was such a normie, I would have been looking at me in exactly the same way and going, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But let me tell you that there is a system designed here to control the minds of the people. None of us are exempt from
okay,
brainwashing.
right, okay.
None of us.
Who's designed that system to control the minds of the people?
One of the big conundrums, one of the unknowns. I mean, there are societies, secret societies and closed clubs that go
Okay.
ahead and do their business.
Why would
World
they want?
Economic
What is the benefit of controlling the minds of the people? Why would they do it? Why would they do it?
There's a lot of potential benefits. The simple answer is to keep the slaves obedient and in the slave farm. That's a very easy one.
What
and
do you
to
mean by
harvest
slave
it.
farm? There's no slave farm. I mean,
Well, you know, we're not free to move like we should be. You know,
well, I
like
went
if
to
you-
the Alps last week. I was free to move there.
You had to take your passport.
That's just a simple thing. It doesn't stop my freedom
It
to
allows
move.
you to travel, yes, but let's say you'd been a naughty boy and they say, oh, we've
Well, that's-
seen your book, your passport, and that says you can't go.
If I've broken the criminal law and I am a threat to the people of France,
Yeah.
yes, they should keep me out.
Well, in my
So it's a good
yeah.
idea.
Well,
I
in my
mean,
way-
do you want people who are criminals from France coming here
No.
and breaking? So the passport works.
No. Yes.
So we
yes,
are free because
yes.
the passport
Well,
provides us with the freedom of
yeah.
security.
Okay, so in
Okay.
a situation where I've got 10
Yeah.
puppies and I starve those puppies, I only put 3 puppies worth of food into their cage every morning, those puppies will grow up to be either fearful or very aggressive. Yeah, would you agree?
I don't know. I don't know the
well,
science on that.
Yeah, no, you treat a baby or a puppy poorly, it's going to react to that in a negative way, sometimes by cowering, sometimes by biting. And those puppies, once they're adults and they're let out of that cage, will need controlling, otherwise they will be a menace. sometimes that's why they have to wear the muzzle and all of this kind
What's
of
that
thing.
got to do with
This is because the human story has been usurped such that we no longer attend to the golden rule, God's law or natural law, which is do no harm. If you attend to the natural law and do no harm to your brother, sister, and
But
their
you
property,
haven't told me who it is who's controlling
like I
us.
said, it's a conundrum. I don't know that answer. I've come across a murder, and you're asking me to tell you who did it and why they did it. We've just stumbled across this murder. I can't answer those questions.
Where do you go online to find all this stuff?
Well, I mean, you're sort of baiting me into saying it's all based on online.
No, I'm intrigued about what your sources are.
For me, my sources.
He looks very free. I mean, he's enjoyed his motorbike. I can't see a slave there.
Yeah, well, okay, but he probably has to give up 40 or 50 hours a week in order to have the perk of a motorbike.
But
and
don't we all have to work for a living to support ourselves?
in this farm? Yes,
But
actually,
we
in
are
natural-
autonomous human beings, so surely we have to provide for ourselves. No one else has
Yeah.
an obligation to provide for us. That is freedom. That is the freedom.
Yeah, and if
Just
you go back 150, maybe 200 years, then I believe that people were living much closer to that idea of freedom than we are today.
He's living the idea
So-
of freedom. He's earned his money and
Alright.
got his lovely motorbike, and he's enjoying his freedom. Probably going to zoom up and down the A24,
Okay.
exercising his right of freedom to make a rather loud noise on his motorbike. He's not going to be curtailed from that.
Yeah,
And I dare
but
say he might
he's-
travel to the Alps and see the curve of the Earth over the horizon and see the mountains rising.
Neil
So-
deGrasse Tyson, a very famous physicist, astrophysicist, claims that you cannot see the curvature of Earth even from the Red Bull jump. You'll remember Felix Baumgartner did that Red Bull jump, 120,000 feet, something like that, or higher. He said even from there, you are not high enough to see the
That's
curvature
because
of Earth.
that's. Look, I don't know what Neil has said, but
I'm
on
saying
that,
pretty much verbatim what he said.
I've heard him on the radio many times in recordings of stuff in the past and everything, and I don't think he's really, to be honest, on your side on this. But
No, he's not. Of course he's not. In
Well,
fact,
there you go.
if there are people who are paid to be agents against this truth coming out, then I would suggest that
Here's what I
at that
think.
level,
Here's what I think.
it's
Right,
possible.
it's been great talking to you.
Yeah.
As an issue of common courtesy, if you're recording, you should ask people first. I work in broadcasting, and you should always ask people first for their permission before recording, as a common courtesy.
That is
because-
a pretty common courtesy, yes.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
you wanna
So
tell
I'm
me
going to
off
put that
about
to one side, because I don't mind if you record me. or
Yeah,
not.
well, of course I'm entitled to record in public.
But you have to. If
No, I
you're,
don't. I'm not the police.
hang on, let me finish my point. If you're actually talking to someone, you need to allow them to understand they are being recorded. And at no stage did you say I was being recorded, so I'm asking for that common
Yeah.
courtesy. But what I'd say
The water is level.
is good luck with your research, right? But I think you'll find if you really think through the issue of the horizon
Yeah.
and where things drop off the horizon,
Horizontal, it comes from the
Right.
word horizon.
You'll find
Horizontal.
that
Do
the
you
Earth is
understand
curved.
what horizontal means?
and I'd also look at the whole thing about the lunar eclipses. But good luck. Okay, cheers.
Do you think he was triggered? Earth is flat, my friend. We don't live on a ball.
See you now. Nice to meet you.
Need a bit of coffee.
Yeah, didn't bring out flask.
Oh, I've got some. You can share some.
That was his second time coming back.
Oh, really?
So he came past, did a bit of ridiculing, you know, teenagers. And then he came back and said, "You see, what's that?" So he's looking at little distances and so on. Yeah, I'll take a look at that.
Cool. Well, hello everyone in the chat. Nice to meet you, Scott. We've only been here for about an hour, I suppose. We did a little bit of talking. If you missed me so earlier, I've got a couple of things coming up next week. On Monday, we've got the masterclass. So if you're able to attend that, you need to book yourself in through our. Well, Andrew will drop a link in the chat, I'm sure. And also Dave Weiss live chat on Wednesday. I wanted to talk about his the high-level conversations he's been having, and Roseanne Barr and Alex Jones, the gatekeeper. So that's all good. from the heart who've been supporting me and us, the Trinities, all this way. We've got this far and we're still holding our heads above water. We got through the car theft business thanks to particular help from a few people. So you know who you are, and heartfelt thanks for all of that support. We are due to put the car in for its annual MOT, and there's one or two servicing things that are happening to the engine that need to be resolved when we're driving on the highway. Sometimes the engine management slows us down. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. We've been lied to about space travel. It's all fake. Space travel is fake, friends. Don't trust what they tell you on the TV. We can't go into a vacuum. There's no vacuum out there anyway. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. Earth is flat, bro, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, friends. It's not a spinning globe. You're not evolved monkeys. Big Bang is a lie. Earth is flat. I'll probably get it. Earth is flat. You don't think so? You can't. Earth is flat.
No, of course it isn't.
You can't walk under a ball, bro. Everything needs to be flat, otherwise you'd fall off. Just this theory that because you lift something up and it falls back to the floor proves you can walk upside down.
It's called
I've heard of
gravity.
gravity, yeah. I came through the whole gravity school. 47 years of my life I believed in all of that stuff. Now I know it's density.
It's nonsense.
It's all buoyancy. Things float in water,
So it's
things are heavy in air. Hot air rises. No gravity required. No gravity required. Earth is flat. It's all buoyancy and density. Things are either heavy or light in the environment. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so if there's anyone who's able to help us. Earth is flat, young ladies, not a spinning ball like they teach you in school. School is designed to make you a fool. A bit of a dirty look there from the youngster. Don't talk bad about my school. I hate school, but I don't talk bad about it. If you want to sip on my coffee, there's no cream in there. I think Andrea did me without cream so that you could enjoy it. Earth is flat, man, not a spinning globe. Can I give you some info, bro? Earth is flat. You heard it already. Can I give you some information? We're electromagnetic. Earth is electromagnetic. So we've got these. I was waiting for my new flyers to arrive. They haven't arrived. Earth is flat, man. It's electromagnetic. We don't live on a spinning ball. We're not evolved apes. You are the center of creation. See, there's food float here. The way they've got the O below, it leaves the word flat quite prominent. This food float is on their chest. They're wearing. Earth is flat, guys. You've never been to space. Buoyancy and density explain what gravity is. Some information, ma'am. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball.
No, thank you.
Some info for you today. Earth is not a spinning ball. Cheers, man. You noticed? Earth is not a spinning rock. Rocks don't float. Rocks don't float. We're not in space. Space is a vacuum lie. Earth is not a spinning ball in a vacuum. We are the center of creation. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, man. Dean and Sarah here, holding up.
Help keep it flat.
Yeah. Wearing your possible projection of what a flat Earth might look like, who knows? So hello to check. Squirrel Sniper, Mark Swarbrick, nice to see you. There's Trinity's. Yeah, she's put a link in, just put a link to the free masterclass on Monday, 22nd. There is cream in the coffee apparently, so not very much. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We've been lied to about who we are and where we live. Free your mind, free your soul. Did not land on the moon. Moon landings are fake. Good luck with your wedding. Tell your husband the Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Spinning balls make no sense. Earth is flat.
Yeah. Fake space.
Yes, ma'am. They
Come on.
fake space.
What do you mean the Earth's flat?
Well, the sea is 70% of the Earth, right?
Right.
And you heard the term sea level.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there is one sea level on Earth. All mountains are given the height above that same sea level on Earth. So if I shrunk the Earth down into an Olympic-sized swimming pool, put some rocks inside of it, and that where we live is on those rocks above the sea level.
Right.
And that makes much more sense. Water must be contained. It cannot sit on the outside of a ball. But people say, oh, because we live on a ball, gravity must be true. But gravity is simply something got lifted up and it dropped back down again. But if I lifted up one of these apples or something like that and dropped it into a bucket of water, guess what? It would float on the water. Why? Because it's less dense than the water it's displacing.
Right.
We're heavy on the ground because we're only displacing very thin air. But a helium balloon, well, that shoots straight up. Hot air balloon shoots straight up because it's lighter than the surrounding environment.
Well, what about them people that throw themselves in the water and they drown?
In the water,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody throws himself in the water, they're not going to float, are they? If they can't swim, they're going to sink.
well, actually, we are a little bit buoyant. But yeah, I mean, if you're fearful and splashing around, you'll exhaust yourself and you will go under.
sink.
Yeah, you will go under. But but if you hold your lungs full of air, you will actually come and float back up on your back. That's what happens. Why? Because you're more buoyant with more air in your lungs. But if you expel all of that air, then you'll sink through the pool or the thing. So buoyant, we're all buoyant or not buoyant depending on the environment. You can take an anvil and float it on a pool of mercury.
Well, if you think it's flat, you want to walk up Rose Hill. It's uphill.
Oh, the mountains. Of course we've got mountains. No one's saying that. I was talking about the water. You know, if the water, 70% of our Earth is water, that water is flat. What's beyond that? How it's contained, that's another conversation. But there are explanations for that we're not given in junior school. They say flat Earth is ridiculous. People believe that. You fall off the edge. No one who's looking at flat Earth now says there's an edge that we can fall off. It has to be contained. Why? Because we have atmospheric pressure. And you could not have atmospheric pressure unless you had a container. Because if there was a vacuum with no container, it would immediately evacuate that gas. Instantly. Take this flyer. It's on who you are. Electromagnetic at the center of the universe.
Right.
All the best, man. Sorry for harpooning your shop there. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning rock. You've been lied to by NASA and all the controllers of this world. You are not evolved from apes, you are the center of creation. NASA is Disney for adults. It's all cartoons and CGI. Believe you are. Landing the flat Earth Dave stand. Hi, Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. I got some of these. Yeah, I met Dave Weiss recently, and he's an alright guy, you know. And to be fair to him, he's doing a lot of promotion of flat Earth, even if we don't necessarily agree on everything. Someone seems to have spoiled my water is level. But not this one. Got a bit more on the other side of the road. You want to have a look at that. Already and hey, Brian. Yeah, that's your countdown music. You know what else I got for you, Brian? I got a special surprise for you, but I'll put it up later or tomorrow or something. So, sorry to interrupt you. I've got Brian Stavely in the chat. So tell him the name of the song that you guys sang for this morning.
It's Live Tonight in Centreville.
Live Tonight in Centreville.
All right, so
We've
he's,
added
Stavely
it-
instead.
We've added it to our
these two
music
guys
genre.
did the Stavely version of Live Tonight, the one that Steffi had written.
I think it's Steffi B and Christian Knapp did it.
So they've sung it and played it, and I'm going to play it for you guys tomorrow or something. So look out for that, Brian.
I think you put it up already, didn't you?
Oh, I already put it up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Then that's up. You can go and look at that. Not now, though. You've got to stay in the stream.
Yeah, we started playing it at open mic nights. We did it the first night, and it went well. People enjoyed it, so that's
There
what
you
we're
go.
doing.
There you go. So your tunage is getting worldwide coverage. So you're international right now. Well, and Stefan. We're running that. So, oh, you saw it. Yeah, Brian saw it. He said he saw it. So yeah. Nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah. So hey, thanks for stopping by, etc., etc. Earth is flat. The sun and moon are small. According to the Quran, they travel over us. Earth is flat, sir. Not a spinning rock. We've been lied to about where we live.
That's okay. Good luck.
Earth is not a spinning rock. We don't live in a space marble. We live on a stationary, enclosed realm. Come on, we need a bit more footfall here. We're in Dorking, if you haven't heard me say that. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We don't live in a vacuum of space. Vacuums are inhospitable. And evolution is a lie. Oh, that guy I was talking to got triggered about the lies. I said, the people aren't lying to you, they're just indoctrinated believers. Hello, sir.
Hello.
If the Earth is flat,
Yes.
how do you explain the fact that I've been all the way around in one direction
Yeah.
and come back to the same
Quite
place?
easily, if you'd like to take a moment to consider how it could work. On a flat plane, there's an old map, or several old maps. There's an azimuthal equidistal map. Have you got your keys handy? Imagine a disc for the moment. I'm not suggesting the Earth's a disc in space for an instant. It's far from that. But imagine the centre of your dinner plate is the North Pole. The outer edge of your dinner plate is an Antarctic ice ring, possibly. That may not even exist. There's Australia, there's New Zealand, South America, South Africa and so on. I've been around the world, I sailed around the North Island of New Zealand, didn't fly over an equatorial bulge of 14 miles that we're told we've got on the spinning ball. That's what that's to say. So, if we circumnavigate, say we're going to travel west around this flat plane, it's also a Gleason map. It's also the logo of the United Nations and NATO. In my boat or an aeroplane at that moment, you're the North Pole and I'm going to take my compass with me to circumnavigate. For instance, I'm going to travel east. As I'm travelling east, I'm circumnavigating this realm and I've returned to where I've started. It seems to be what the sun, moon and stars seem to track. When we go out in the night sky, look at the North Star, it's always in the same position. We navigate it, sailing. All the stars seem to come back and do exactly the same thing a year later. Apart from the wandering stars, they seem to have their own pattern. What we observe and what we experience aren't what we're taught. So we believe in what we're taught, but when we apply our own knowledge to what our experiences are different. For instance, trigonometry that they tell us for the 4,000 mile radius ball is 8 inches per mile squared. So when you're 6 foot above sea level, you can only see 3 miles to a geographic horizon. So we live in Southend-on-Sea. On a clear day, when I'm on the beach, I can see the beach in Margate with a camera. It's 32 miles away. There should be approximately 340 foot of curvature he's hidden behind. I can see the Shard in London. It's from Leigh-on-Sea. That's 1,100 feet high. Equally, there should be approximately 340 foot at the bottom of it missing, and there isn't. I can see it. Not to the ground, because it's obviously ill for the barking in a way, but it's clearly all there. There's none of it hidden. So where's the 3 miles to a geographic horizon when I'm standing at sea level? My experience isn't what I'm taught. I don't know what this place is, but I know it's not a ball floating in a vacuum. The sun, moon and stars are near and close. That's my experience, and it seems flat. Water always finds its level when it rests. Yeah, and you go from there. Doesn't matter how high you go.
If the Earth is flat,
Yeah.
why doesn't water run off the edge?
There's possibly no edge. It could be an infinite plane. We're talking space is infinite. Why couldn't this realm, matrix, whatever it is, I've got no idea.
Well, I always look for the simplest solution to things,
Yeah.
and the simplest solution to pretty well everything we were talking about
Yeah.
is that the Earth is a globe or a sort of globe.
Yeah.
Have you
That
ever
works
seen that
with-
in reality, though? Have you ever seen a ball of water versus have you ever seen a lake where that body of water is enclosed and with restrained or contained within that lake, and that lake is level?
I'm not sure I understand what the point of that is.
Well, we're
I mean,
saying
lakes
that,
by definition are contained, aren't
so,
they?
so if we had to take our Earth conception and shrink it down to the size of a lake, we would expect it to be contained, because water must always be contained.
Why should we need to shrink it down to the size of a lake? We're not talking about lake, we're talking about the Earth.
But this idea that the water is clinging to the outside of the ball, the sphere.
The water isn't clinging to the outside of the ball.
So how have we got oceans in the Southern Ocean, for example, that are at the bottom of a ball?
Well, the simple explanation is gravity.
Yeah.
Do you not believe in gravity?
What which gravity? Newtonian gravity, which is mass attracting mass, or the Einsteinian theory, which they're now pushing. The science has said that Newton's wrong. Words from Michio Kaku's mouth. It's
science
now,
has not said that Newton was
they
wrong.
have. If you look at Michio Kaku, he said Newton was wrong.
Is saying
The bending
that
of space-time is now what
there is-
they're alleging.
there are certain things about Newton's theory which need to be elaborated and developed. You saying that such and such is wrong is not the way that scientists normally work.
Sounds like
It's not the way
religion.
I work.
Okay. But you can't prove Newton's theory of gravity. There's no evidence of mass attracting mass.
You can't disprove it. You can't disprove it.
But the
You
claim
can
has
only
been
make
made by,
assumptions.
but the burden of proof to prove, if you're making a
No,
claim,
there's no burden
you're
of proof.
theorizing that this
There's
is
no
how a
need.
globe
There's
should
no
work.
need to prove anything.
I'm serious.
Why not? You're just going to teach what someone, believe what someone teaches you without
Without question.
a need of questioning or proving?
I spent 35 years at a university telling students to work things out for themselves.
Yes.
And
That's what we've
And then
done
you're
with this.
asking us to
I've
believe in
never, had
somebody
a,
else.
I've never had a single student turn around to me and say, I believe the earth is flat.
Well, we weren't thinking along those lines. In fact, when we were 6 years old, we were all ingrained with the idea that flat Earth is ridiculous. So up until the age of 47, I would have agreed with all of that. Up until I came across this documentary about them going to the moon called The Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. And it's NASA's own footage proving how they're faking it. I was a moon believer up until that point, 47 years old.
I'm still going back to my original question. Since I've actually been all the way around in one direction,
Yeah.
how can you say
I
the
can
earth
travel
is
all the way
flat?
around London.
What you're saying there
Using that-
is incorrect.
Well, would it make you feel a little easier to know that there's many international airline pilots who have come out and said the Earth is flat, and now they're thinking about how they would fly and plot straight lines across or around a flat Earth, and it works for them. So whilst I understand your reservations, and we look at the
It's
Vendi,
not-
if
it's
we
not-
look at the sailing stuff that they do around the world, we can see how they work on a flat map. We can map all of that. But what they've never done is flown underneath Antarctica and come out 180 degrees on the other side. Never. There's no one flight recorded, ever. Now, if we lived on a globe, that would be a shortcut from Peru to Australia. But we don't do that. In fact, a lot of our flights from the southern region come into the northern region before zigzagging back down into the south again. That does not make sense on the globe, but when you see those plotted on a flat map, they're almost straight lines. So there's plenty of pilots and people around that industry who've debunked the idea that they're flying around the Great Circle Route and all of these things. They're all designed to control that so that the pilots will believe that they're flying around the globe. Most pilots still believe they're flying around the globe. Sailors used to claim that when they were in the Southern Ocean, they would be losing many miles per day. According to the map, they thought their progress was 100, but according to the map, they'd only made 80. So it seemed as though the map didn't equate with what's going on in the south. And when you consider the circular map option, then yes, there's a lot more ocean in the southern regions. There's also the Antarctic Treaty that prevents civilians from taking, no matter how wealthy you are, you can't just decide to turn up in Antarctica and spend 6 months exploring. You can't do that because of the Antarctic Treaty that Russia and America have signed in 1950s.
What's that got to do with anything?
Because it stops. Why would, if you didn't want your children near or the animals near a particular part of the feed,
Who
you
the
would
hell,
put a little
who the
electric
hell
fence up
wants
to
to
stop that.
go down to Antarctica anyway?
Well, those
I mean,
people
it's a
who
bloody
are
cold place.
well, not according to some old sailors who say the weather down there in areas is quite good climate. Have you heard of Admiral Byrd? Admiral Byrd was a famous admiral from the 1940s, 50s. He spent a lot of time in the North Pole and a lot of time, 15 years or so, in the South Pole with an entire flotilla and tanks and a whole lot of planes and whatnot, and they explored, and he came back with stories about how they'd found land where the climate was mild. That there's all sorts of things. He said, I found land that no man has ever stepped on bigger than America. That's what he claims on TV, and then 6 months later he dies. But he was given 3 ticker tape parades. He was a serious admiral. He was a very highly respected guy, and he was given all these resources to go and inspect that place. It's Operation High Jump.
You're just
Operation
talking.
Fishbowl.
You're just
You
talking
can check-
crap.
Okay. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Don't fall off the ball. People say don't fall off the flat earth when it's like it's so insanely stupid. You know, it's like you've got a ball in your bed in your lounge, and you've got a child who's wanting to stand on top of the ball, and you're going to be worried about them falling off, right? Because it's so easy. But then you've got a child playing on a big dining table. You're not worried about them falling off. Why? Because it's a stable, flat surface for them to play on. But no, people don't fall off the edge. You live on a ball. How can you even take that straw man? But for Cogdis.
Get too close to putting that evidence out there.
Yeah.
You could see he shut off. He was like, no, no.
Yep. You're ridiculous. I can't face it. Earth is flat.
Can't deal with it.
Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Don't believe you come from monkeys. That stuff's not true at all. You don't evolve from monkeys. Earth is flat. Research Earth, flat Earth. Research. You can't walk on a ball. Water runs downhill, not uphill. Hey, we'll want to silence us, just like our friends over at BlueTube. Sip of coffee in here.
No, right.
Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning globe. The globe is a lie. We've never been to space. Don't believe the teacher. She's lying to your face. I only said that because it rhymes, but I don't think they're lying. They don't know. We're all indoctrinated with the idea we live on a spinning ball, sir. That's not true. Earth cannot be proved to be moving, and water cannot prove to be going down the side of a ball and not falling off. Earth is flat because water is flat, and 70% of Earth is water, but it's contained, and the vacuum of space cannot be proven. It's all CGI. It's only on TV that we believe, and I did, that we live in a vacuum, a scary vacuum, rather than we live inside an enclosure where the water is level and we are the center of creation.
Where are you from?
Durban, where are you from?
Pinechard.
No! I went to Pinetown Boys High,
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What year?
85.
Yeah, I matriculated Durban St Henry's,
Oh, okay. I know.
86, but I lived in Pinechard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was Sonia, more specifically.
Oh, Sonia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Sonia.
Yeah.
Well, what's your name?
Dave.
David?
Manel,
Menno.
yeah.
Yeah, I played in rugby against Massimo and
The
Marcello.
Katita boys, yeah, they were friends of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Plank. Steve
Plank, oh,
Atherton,
yeah. Steve.
That was all my year.
I used to beat up Steve when he was like in
Really?
the back garden when I was young.
Really?
Yeah. Until he got that big, yeah.
You got huge.
He knows me. You
Okay.
know, Robin Dove. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Well, do you live here now?
Yeah, I'm in Croydon, but my girlfriend lives here in Dorking.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So we're just here for a quick bit.
So listen, I wrote a book about my national service. I was at 6-1 Mech in northern Southwest Africa, and we went into battle in Angola in 87.
All right.
Massive tank battles. I wrote a book about it. And when I wrote that book, it changed my life. I got given information that our battles were being staged. And it started me on a journey of researching into what the heck is going on, 9/11, moon landings, stuff like that. And it came to this end point, which is that shit, I can't even prove that I live on a globe anymore. We're all given the same indoctrination, but I've taken a spirit level on a long flight. I can't get it to do anything other than stay at 1.5 degrees up. There's pilots who say we're not flying around if Earth is flat. So I go out and tell people this stuff because it's like it breaks us out of the spell of programming. You know, we got apartheid programming, and then when it suited them, they just washed that away.
We're getting picked up. Have you got like a card or something?
Take this.
Yeah. I'll get hold of you.
Oh, well, my number's on this other card. 1 second. I need to
What you have done?
just one of mine.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk again. My
Yeah.
number's on there.
All right, dude, Robin. Just remember,
Cheers,
Robin.
Robin.
I'll WhatsApp you. Okay?
Lekker, boet.
All right.
Goeiedag.
Come to Troy.
Ja, tot ziens.
What, a £2 each?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, a little bit of goosebumps there from I met someone who lives from like right by my hometown. So, how about that? Funny story about me talking to a guy the other day and saying he got to a point where he's like, "Do you think the Earth is flat?" So I said, "Well, it could be. I'm not absolutely sure, but I forgot I was wearing this T-shirt." Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. We've been lied to about who we are and where we live. Earth is flat.
Why do you say the Earth is flat?
Because water is level. 70% of the Earth is water, and water will always find level. We call it horizontal because it's horizon. And the Earth is not spinning. We can't prove that either. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind.
Too late.
Oh, too late.
Maybe that should be your next thing, when the lights go red, put that through the driver's window.
Yeah. Not these ones. These are more for like people who already know, or rather want more information. This is more like a beginners overview. Plus some views. My new banner was due yesterday, but they were delayed. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Some information for you, and Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. We're the center of creation. All right. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. Earth is not a spinning globe. We've been lied to about the vacuum of space. Space travel is fake. If we can't live on a ball, we would fall off a ball, like water. We've been lied to about the Earth. So Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a globe. We don't live on a spinning ball. We don't evolve from apes. We're not evolved, we are the center of creation. We are the center of the world. Not spinning on a ball. So yeah, Dorking High Street. We've not come on the sunniest of days. The weather is very dodgy these days, I have to say. So last time before I was live, Donald Trump had 2 undamaged ears. Oh, he's still got 2 undamaged ears. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Earth is flat. Did an interesting interview with Dave Murphy on fourth dimensional thinking, which is quite fascinating and fits with my experience in the GMT, that everything is sort of in this 0 point and everything is emanating out from that. It kind of, but everything is happening in the same space and at the same time. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. I'm hoping to be in Speaker's Corner for 3 out of the next 5 Sundays, and I'll be more specific as the days get closer and I can clarify my movement. Speaker's Corner. So, Earth is flat. Earth is flat, so not a spinning globe. Earth is flat, my friends. We've been lied to about this vacuum of space. Space travel is all CGI, Hollywood, designed to keep your mind small. Earth is flat. We did this, or they did this Owen Benjamin recording earlier today, which I'll play in a few days' time. We were very spoken to this guy. You know the Earth can't be a globe, sir. It cannot be a ball. We're not there. Earth is flat, man. Earth is flat. Not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, not a globe. We've been lied to about that one. Water is level. Earth is not spinning. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, sir. Have a nice day. Got the thumbs up over the road. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We don't live. We're not space monkeys. We're center of creation. Earth is flat. They fake space. Keep you small. Hey, Tony Dixon. Yeah, logical observations. Claiming a downward vector gravity requires a flat plane. Yeah, I agree with that. Force of gravity requires flat. Gravity in quotations. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning ball. Don't indoctrinate the young with a lie. Deceiving. Earth is flat, man. Something expands more. Gas expands more, I reckon, to fill available volume. Times gravity, absolutely. I use helium most commonly. Earth is flat, man, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning ball. Take some information. Ma'am, some info. Some information for you guys today. You can't live on a spinning rock. Rocks don't float. We are electromagnetic beings of light, living in an electromagnetic system that may look globular, but that's on the outside. Apples and oranges prove that actually the hard fruit is on the inside, or the seeds are on the inside. No fruit is ever grown on the outside of the skin, except in this gravitonian idea of us and water being able to exist on the outside of a ball. It must be contained in the skin, a bark, a shell, a peel. What are your thoughts?
Well, I suppose you've got an interesting theory there, but...
Well, the interest is all of ours, actually, because if we've been deceived from childhood, and our grandparents were deceived from childhood, then there's a reason for that deception. And that deception might be the most important lie. And for me, getting through the baseline gateway truth of we don't live on a spinning globe puts to bed all these ideas of what politics is, what royalty is, what religion is, because it's all been designed to control. And why would they want to control?
Who's designed it though? Who's
Well,
designing
that's
it
the
to
million-dollar
control?
question, really, is exactly who's behind it. Some say it's some dark entities that are non-human. Some say it's just man in his greedy machinations. I don't mind either way. I know that there's a deception occurred here. I see the murdered body in front of me. I may not know who did it or what their motive was, but I can see the evidence of that. And for me, that water is level and that we can't prove it was spinning is evidence that this globe thing is made up pseudoscience. And when we look into NASA, we find that so much of their work is CGI. What we see as photos from space are most often proved to be just drawings or paintings, even admitted so by some of their staff.
Yeah, but it's not only NASA's that's in the space race.
Yeah.
We've got Chinese people, we've got
That's right.
India and Russia and
Japan.
all sorts of people.
So
there,
that's why I said it puts to bed this idea of politics and the idea that left versus right, red versus blue, is actually a construct. And that all of these teams, Russia, America, and so on, are actually in the same pyramid of control. And they may be levels down, 2 or 3 stages down from that level of control, but they still take their orders from a singular source. And that's what controls mankind. Is just like apartheid did, put the black against the white. So they've done that with European wars, world wars, conflicts to keep us at odds with each other, and possibly a third world war might be brewing. But yet these same countries keep treaties like the Antarctic Treaty, which forbids anyone from mining what apparently is vast resources of oil and coal and whatnot.
Yeah, there is.
But the Russians and the Americans somehow seem to be able to work together on this treaty, even though they're enemies when it comes to what's on the BBC. So there's a phrase that goes, all wars are bankers' wars. Now it's a very simplistic phrase, but someone benefits from the war, and it's not you, the taxpayer. Ultimately, we give up our lives for those wars and our taxes for our energy for those wars. And then we agree to more controls and restrictions on what we can do freely because of the threat of the boogeyman, the bad guy out there. And that's what the world has done. If I was a security firm and I came to your town and I said, I'd like to offer you like overarching security coverage, and you said, we don't have crime here, I'd send some bad boys down here for the next month to cause some crime and then come back. And you'd welcome me in, make me tea, and bite my hand off for my services.
Yeah.
And so what if that's happening at the worldwide level? Is that, okay, we'll go against you for a while, and then we'll have the Cold War, and then we'll say it's over, and then we'll become the bad guy again, and then we'll bring China into the fold. I believe that anyone who has a space program is very deeply embedded in the fold. That doesn't mean that the staff at the space programs, ESA, JAXA, NASA, all of these, I don't believe that they're in on it. 99.9% of them are probably believing what they're putting together is going into space. But the truth is that all of these satellites, if they're in the sky, they're hanging on helium balloons, and we've got plenty of evidence of these things being launched and also crashing into mountainous areas where they can't be recovered very easily. And locals walk up to this, what looks like a satellite on a helium balloon. We've seen so many of those, but we can't get out. If there was a vacuum of space next to Earth, thermodynamics demands that vacuum would immediately suck out our space or our atmosphere away. But that doesn't happen because we have to be in a container.
Yeah, we've got gravity.
Then we've got a theory of how. Well, that's begging the question. That's saying that
spinning round.
Yeah. That's because if I took a canister of gas and I punctured it, immediately you would expect that to violently relieve the can. Yeah. There'd be an equalization of pressure. But they tell us that you don't need a can, you just need this theory that because something falls to the floor, light gases at 100 miles are being constrained from being drawn into a very powerful and frighteningly large vacuum. In reality, if you created a box with a vacuum in it and a box with gas in it, and you opened the lid between the two, instant would be the equalization of that pressure. But that's a physical barrier. Like an aeroplane is a physical barrier, or a train is a physical barrier that excludes you from the rushing atmosphere outside of you as you go through it, right? Well, if we were spinning on a globe at 1,000 miles an hour, like they say, our physical, when we spin a bicycle wheel, we know that the air is being dragged, but it's being left behind. It's going to create winds and eddies and currents because of you spinning that wheel. The same is true for the 1,000-mile-an-hour spin of the globe. But they say, no, the atmosphere somehow just manages to pull along with us because the stone falls on the floor. No, we have to be in a container. I was a 47-year veteran of the globe, and then 10 years ago, I realized that it's a lie.
Well, So you don't think the world is a round globe then?
I think,
Sort
like I
of
said, I
going
think like
round?
with fruit, like an orange, it'll be spherical. But where we live, the continents are the seeds on the inside of that orange. So where we
So-
can be is in a place where the atmosphere is just the right amount, not too thin, not too dense. Because too dense, it's water. But in this area here is the Goldilocks zone that we can be habitable on up to about 5,000 meters, and that's it.
So why, if you're on, so you don't think there's a southern hemisphere and a northern hemisphere then?
No, think about like an LP, a long LP.
But if you tip water down a plug hole on...
I've heard this one. I used to believe that
it goes
too.
out.
Yeah.
In Australia, the water down a plug hole goes in.
Well, we believe that this is a lot to do with the design of the particular thing. People in the southern region have done the same experiment and got both results, left and right. So there might possibly, I used to believe that same thing, but I think that might actually not be true. That has a lot more to do with the design of the basin, which tap you're using, blah, blah, blah. They call that Coriolis force, right? That there's a Coriolis energy that is affecting everything because of the spinning. But I was a long-range shooter in the army, and we never had to allow for the Earth spinning at 30 miles a second or whatever it is. It's faster than the speed of sound, 1,000 miles an hour. And we never had to allow, if your projectile's in the air for 3 seconds, then you're well off target if everything is spinning and your projectile isn't following that. Planes, they can land north-south without having to allow for anything spinning underneath them.
You're sort of going into
circles.
Einstein's theory of relativity and all
Well,
that.
the relativity thing, yeah. I mean, I used to think, how is it possible that if I grew up in South Africa, how is it possible that I am on the top of the globe at the same time as someone in England is claiming to be on the top of the globe? We can't all be on the top of a globe. We can all be on the top of a flat Earth, on a tabletop, but if you had a ball on that tabletop and said, right, I want you to all be on the top, well, everybody would be in the North Pole, and they'd be on the top, but no one would be on the southern South America, on the side of this thing, and going up to get to Europe. That would never happen. Ships don't go downhill. What we can demonstrate is that the ship that's gone over the horizon at 4 or 5 miles, we take a powerful camera and we zoom right back in on that ship. And we find that the whole ship is still visible to us. So it's something to do with perspective and how our things shrink away out of your eyesight into the distance. This is the inverse square law. Everything gets smaller in the distance and gets larger as it returns to the coast. That doesn't mean it's gone downhill and it's going to come back up from France, like France is somehow lower than us. Because if you were a French boy, you'd be standing in Calais saying, no, England is down from us. Yeah, with the ship when it leaves France is going down. Well, we're saying when it leaves England, it's going down. You can't have both. You can't have both. You can have water being level, and the only way we move our barges around this country from 50 or 100 meters above sea level is to lock them. And we have to lower the barge 5 or 10 meters at a time, and then we slowly bring it onto the body of water, sail it for a few miles, and then bring it down another 10 feet or whatever. That's how reality works for waterways. So if you've got a waterway above another one, it's going to spill over and go down unless you lock it, unless you contain it. Hard to believe, sir, and I spent my whole life indoctrinated, but so I don't expect you to believe anything I'm saying, but I'm hopefully opening your mind to the idea that we may not be told the truth about it. And if it's true, it means that we are far more important than this game wants you to believe, that we are the center of creation, and that whatever the creator is might be, you might be an emanation of that creator. That's what the bottom line for me as a former atheist is that actually we might be the center of creation, and you are the creator expressing itself in your avatar now. For a brief moment of time, possibly to learn some soul lessons, but certainly not to be deceived, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting, yeah.
Keep an open mind, my friend.
Nice
It's like a parachute.
you,
It works best when open. Cheers. Oh, this flat, sir, not a spinning ball. Hope you enjoyed that interaction. It was pretty pleasant. Pretty pleasant. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We've been lied to about space. Seriously. Yes, Brave.
Come on.
Yeah, really.
Explain it all then.
We can't prove we live on a ball. You can't.
You can't prove we live on a flat Earth.
I can prove that the water is level.
Yeah,
The water is flat.
yeah. Look how big the Earth is. It's fucking thousands.
Yeah, so if I broke it down into 10-mile chunks, I could travel another 10 miles say it's level.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was in a cockpit of an
Yeah.
aircraft for about half an hour.
Yeah.
And all I saw was level, level, level. There are many airline pilots
Yeah, that's
who
right.
said that. It's level and flat. We
So,
don't allow for
so,
curvature.
so pilots, they think the Earth's flat.
Some, yes.
Some of them think it's flat.
Absolutely, they've
Which
come
which
out.
ones?
Well, I've got a friend
Well,
who's probably
you got a
watching now.
friend. You got a friend who's probably watching now.
Yeah.
It's
They'd like
not
to hear.
flat. Come on, think of something else.
You've been brainwashed since you were young.
No,
We all
you've
were.
been brainwashed.
And I left that
You've been
brainwash behind.
No. Back in the 14th century, they thought the Earth was flat.
Yeah, they knew
it's
that.
flat.
They were
it's
smarter
flat.
than us,
And
but-
they're smart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know about dinosaurs, did
No,
they?
but they're also
Back in the
fake.
14th.
Yeah, they're also
They're fake.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs are fake.
There were large beings before
but
and large animals.
dinosaurs
much
are
larger.
fake. So
But
they've been
dinosaurs
put
made
there.
up. 60
Someone
million?
So why would they say the Earth's round when it's flat? Why would they say that?
to
Why would they
demean-
say it's on a globe?
To hide whatever. God is.
Hide what? What are they hiding?
God.
They're hiding God. Oh, God, so God exists.
Yeah, I think that.
No, God
is-
doesn't exist, all right? God doesn't exist.
Well, I used
I'm
to
an
believe it.
atheist,
Yeah,
all right?
me too.
You
I
used to, didn't you,
Then I
right?
took
Okay.
DMT.
And then you got bored.
I took DMT.
I've taken DMT as well, mate, all right?
So you didn't
Well,
see that this place is actually light? You couldn't see
what
that on
you
the
saw
DMT?
and what I saw were different,
Well,
weren't
maybe
they?
we come from
Cl-
different perspectives. But for me, you can't walk on the underside of a ball. You can
can't-
walk on a
no,
flat
you-
earth.
no, you
Absolutely.
can't.
You go up mountains, down mountains. When you
Mate.
cross England from the
Mate.
east coast to the west coast, you go up 400
I
meters.
saw your
you come
film,
down
the
400
guy
meters.
shooting a laser, and it was like,
The
oh
National
shit!
Geographic, that was
and
disinfo, you
They
know
shot that. Oh no, that was
Oh, yeah.
disinfo.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
this. Everything's a lie, isn't it?
Do you
Everything.
believe- do you
Everything's
believe the mainstream story of 9/11.
what?
Well,
What's the
what,
mainstream
Osama
story?
and
So you're
Bin
saying
Laden
that
brought
it was
that down?
bombs, wasn't it? They blew it up,
They blew
yeah?
those down.
Nonsense, mate. Why do
Building
you?
7?
Why
Have
do
you
you
looked at
argue?
Building
What?
7?
Building what?
Building 7.
I got better things to do. You're
Well-
doing all this.
well,
I mean,
you've
you've got anything
got-
else
you've
better
got-
to
you've
do.
got the time to
Why
disagree
don't
with
you?
me.
Why don't you just think? All right, it's a flat Earth. They're all idiots. That's it. Why are you trying to tell everyone?
Because evil prospers when good men do
What?
nothing.
What evil?
The evil
What,
that controls
what
us
if
all.
you're evil? What if you're like? What if you're the
well, that
evil?
may be, but I have
What?
to look
What?
at
But
my
that
own
may
heart.
be. Yeah, that might
I
be a
have to look at my
maybe.
heart.
So it's
And I
all.
always
It's
say
all.
that.
It can
All
all
about
be
perspective.
argued, can't it? It can all. It's all
Water-
about
water
opinions.
is level. That can't
Opinions
be
are like
argued.
arseholes, right?
Everyone's
got
got
one,
one.
right?
Yeah.
You got your opinion, right? I think, right? It's shit. It's stupid, right?
Okay.
If
That's
you
it.
think the
You're
Earth's
allowed that
flat,
opinion.
you're living in cloud cuckoo land. If you believe there's a God, you're living in cloud cuckoo land, all right? That's my opinion, huh?
You think you're the best version of a monkey today? You're a
Yeah.
fool for believing
Yeah,
in
and
that. It's
why?
only a theory. Evolution is a theory, it's not fact. Yeah, it's measurably flat.
It's flat.
I can measure its flatness and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I have to believe that I'm the best version of a monkey that there is.
What do you mean the best
The most
version?
evolved monkey.
Yeah, what about it?
It's a theory, it's not fact, there's no proof of it.
Earth is flat.
Right,
Not a
so
spinning globe.
like, you know, all this and talking and all that, communication.
Yeah, we were
it's
designed
evolution.
that way. Yeah, we were designed
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
On
yeah.
purpose.
On
But
purpose.
Not over billions of years.
But we didn't
from-
land on the moon, did we? It's all a
No,
lie.
it's a lie.
It's
You think we did?
of course it's a lie.
You think we did?
Of course we didn't. Are you mental? Of course we did.
Buzz Aldrin has said 3 times out of his own mouth a minute ago.
He hasn't. He actually smacked someone for saying that you're talking shit. Yes, he
Why
did.
did he smack him? Because he wouldn't put his hand on the Bible and swore that he walked on the moon.
He was
That's why.
offering you
Why would he
$5,000.
smack- Why would he? Why would
watched
you
the
put your hand on the
documentary.
Bible? Why would you put the hand on the Bible?
Swear that he walked on the moon.
Why would you swear to a
wouldn't he
God
do
that doesn't
it?
exist?
Why wouldn't he do it?
Why wouldn't he what?
Put his hand on the Bible.
Put it in the Bible.
If you
I
did
don't
something
know.
yesterday, I brought you any comic book or whatever and said, I'll give you $5,000, put your hand on this comic book and swear you did that thing yesterday, you go, yeah, I had that.
Yeah, I'd fucking do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But,
what do you mean?
well, where is it?
Why is such a violent reaction?
But 10
So,
of
what?
the astronauts he
He
spoke to
just said he
wouldn't do
smacked
it.
me in the face. Why such a violent reaction?
Because he's probably pissed off with it all the time. Pissed off with
No
idiots.
excuse for anyone.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But guess what? People
Earth is flat, not a spinning ball.
react
Huh?
differently
Earth is
to
flat.
different things. don't
Yeah, I
they?
know.
You know
In
that?
different
Yeah, yeah,
ways.
of course I know
Awesome.
that.
How long have you known?
For a while.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Before COVID or after, since COVID? Because a lot of people have come to this after.
And the moon's what, flat? Is that right?
Like 2020, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You maybe had time to do your own research?
Yeah, I've kind of researched a bit about it, but I haven't really gone like that much into it. You know what I mean?
Well, I can give you, I can take you a little bit over the finish line and say that whatever the Earth is, we don't know exactly how it works. But I believe that's electromagnetic. and that we are electromagnetic beings within that electromagnetic system. So imagine like an orange. Inside the center of the orange are the pips, the seeds, and that's where we live, on the center of an electromagnetic orange. And your body is at the microcosm, the seeds at the center of an electromagnetic apple or orange. That is each of us. And we're connecting to everything. So I got a flyer on the electromagnetic universe.
No, it's not.
You might find that useful.
Guess what? I counted for myself.
Well
Right?
done.
I don't think.
But is this your friend?
Anything major.
He's been arguing about it for a while.
I never.
Oh, he will.
And he's
Different opinions on everything.
and we find this, you know, people
People have got
angry.
their own. I don't like people that get angry about it.
Yeah.
Just because you think differently.
Yeah.
There's no need for it.
Yes, but because it's like you're taking away something that's sacrosanct, and you're also bringing into question their authority, even though they may hate the authority. That the authority that told you this when you were a child, whatever belief system you come from,
If we
believe that.
got told lies, and now it's hard for people to believe what is true.
Yes.
What can you do?
Yes. Because we've lost our innate, inner compass. Our innate inner compass has been stolen from us and overwritten by a fake program. And so now we're challenging that program. Some people find that very difficult to confront. But these big events like 9/11 or the COVID thing and so on, they do spark people to start questioning this reality and going, shit, this stuff's crazy what's going on here. And you start finding information that breaks into your belief.
No, there's a lot to unlearn.
Yeah, a great amount to unlearn. But it's a journey. And we're here, I think, as an expression of our higher self with a mission. And that mission has been usurped, but if you get back on the track, you will find that, the outcome that you were here to fulfill for your higher self. That's my belief. Rather than being controlled by something outside.
What's it? On the earth, but he's not bothered about them. He's too busy watching Donald Trump and saving him. God, come on. There's no such thing as a God. If God exists, he's fucked. Because he's giving kids cancer, he's doing all sorts of weird shit.
Man's giving kids cancer. Man is doing that.
Yeah,
we are poisoning our children.
No, but it's God, isn't it? God created man.
No, that's man's greed.
So God created man.
But free will.
What, free will? Yeah,
there is free will.
Yeah, there is free will.
The greedy are using that.
Thank you, God, for making me an atheist. Thank you, God. And if I'm wrong, then God forgive me.
He doesn't mind.
He'll forgive me,
I think
won't
that
he? Your God will forgive me. I can say what I like about God. He'll forgive me.
Yeah.
God is the reason there's lots of wars in this world.
But do no harm is the golden rule.
What?
No, that's man's greed that is creating war. That's man's greed.
Man following a fucking stupid
No,
thing
I don't
called
think that.
God.
No, I don't think that.
You do? You believe in God?
Well, I think
What
that there's
religion are you
something
then? Are
higher.
you
I don't have a
Christian? You
religion.
Christian? Or are you...
I have no religion.
You have no, but you believe there's a God.
I believe there's a higher entity. We use the
Well,
word God, but it
now
could
then,
be-
a higher entity.
there's a
Well,
higher-
there
there's
you go.
something-
There you go.
There's a most high. There is a
Well, there has to be,
loving
does there?
over Sort of
Yeah.
seer
What
or
if it's?
creator.
What if none of this is real?
Yeah, that's a
What
possibility.
if none of this is real? What
It's
if
all
you're
in,
not real?
in the imagination.
What
Yeah.
if? What if?
In the image of God could mean
Nothing
in
is
the
real.
imagination
Yeah,
of whatever
yeah,
God is.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll go as far as to say to people, you might be God, expressing
But
yourself
I
through
love
this
the
avatar.
graphics of the guy on the moon and the way they filmed it was so good for 1969. There was
know.
top-notch quality computer graphics.
They made some mistakes.
Oh yeah, the shadows were all wrong, and
Oh,
yeah,
those are
oh
the simple
yeah,
entry
oh
level
yeah,
stuff.
and the lighting was terrible. But hey, we're dumb. We'll fall for all that,
They
won't
had
we?
a cameraman on the moon that filmed them leaving. Did you see
Guess
that
what?
footage?
Yeah. The cameraman
How did they
on the
do
moon
that? How
taking the
did they
pictures.
Bluetooth it back to
Yeah.
the Earth?
Yeah, Buzz with his camera taking a picture. You can see the reflection.
Now, this is
They
when
have
they're taking
cameras
off,
on the
not
outside
leaving.
of the craft and everything taking pictures. It's an historic thing happening.
The craft looks like it's made from tinfoil.
Oh
and
yeah,
flour.
tin
It's
foil,
not- it's
yeah.
not-
Yeah.
it's
You,
not a solid
you can
thing.
call everything fake. You can call everything fake. People watching this will probably go, oh, he's just some random guy that you dragged up, some actor that you've pulled up off the street.
No,
everything's fake. Everything's
no,
fake.
no.
Yeah.
But if I
That-
implant an
did-
idea, it can be real. Like, let's just say it was against the Irish, the Germans, the Gypsies, whatever. Right? If I implant an idea into a child and say, these people are bad, these
Oh,
people
yeah,
are bad,
exactly.
he will grow up to
Yes,
believe
exactly,
that.
exactly. That's why when your mum says, "But you're under fire," but and there's a God watching you, and you'll go to hell if you misbehave.
That
You go to
frightens the
heaven
heck
if you
out
go,
of the-
and it's all conditioning, isn't it? And you're told that when you're young, and you believe all that shit. Don't
So
you think
we're
it's
all
odd
conditioned.
that a Hindu, right, happens to be born into a Hindu family. He just happens to be born into the right religion.
Yeah.
And a Catholic just happens to be born into the right
Jehovah's
religion.
Witness,
Born
you
into the
can
right
name many of
religion.
them.
So
There's
you're all
thousands.
born into the right religion, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's
Absolutely.
nonsense.
Absolutely.
It's flawed, isn't
But
it?
atheism is also a religion.
It's totally
And
flawed.
I used to be an atheist.
Well, yeah.
But it's a belief
But now
system.
you're, well, yeah.
But now I know that there is something higher. That it's not this material experience that you're having now is a brief blip in your higher self's experience.
Yeah, yeah.
All the best.
We could talk for hours.
No, that's not
But I've
talking.
got better things to do.
He's a little bit confused. Didn't you see the hand wave? I missed that, sorry. Nice dogs. Earth is flat, by the way. Did you know that? We don't live on a spinning ball. This idea that we live on a rock floating in space cannot be demonstrated in physics. What we can demonstrate is an enclosed system that has a flat body of water, and the rocks that sit above that are our continents, and we can travel around those. But we don't live on a ball that we can fall off. Gravity, the theory, is just an expression of density and buoyancy. Things that are lighter than air will float, things that are heavier will drop, things that are heavier than water will sink in the water, other things will float.
Right.
Everything is buoyant or dense depending on the medium, and we are heavy in this thin air, but if we go in a swimming pool, we'll become a whole lot lighter, right? Because we're buoyant in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
So I started looking at the moon landings and realized that these are not true. I found out that the Earth can be demonstrated to be unmoving and flat. So I started looking into spiritually what that means. And it means actually that we are the center of creation, that we are the reason for all of this. And we are a tiny microcosm within a macrocosm that may look on the outside like the whole universal macrocosm may be a ball, but we're the center. You know where the seeds are inside of an orange? Well, that's where we exist on this world. It's right at the center of some electromagnetic system. I wrote a little bit on this flyer about the nature of the electromagnetic universe. If you want to take it home and have a little read of that, it'll give you some thoughts. Hopefully you can do your own research, because you really need to search this up for yourself if you're going to break out of the prison mentality that's been sort of ingrained in us all since we were in school.
Great, thank you.
Cool. I mean, any questions, feel free to come back and ask me.
Yeah.
I'm open to any questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Have the best. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball, boys. You can't stand on a ball, you can stand on a flat table. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a ball. We didn't evolve. Sorry, evolution's a lie. We are created perfect by a creator. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Take some info.
Would you like some flat earth medal?
Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. I'm going to be in Speaker's Corner a few times over the next few Sundays, so keep a lookout for that live from Speaker's Corner. Earth is flat, my friend, and not a spinning rock. Space travel is a deception. NASA is Disney for adults. I'm making a little appeal to those who can to support a little bit. We've got some expenditure coming up that I'm going to need to be able to meet, which I can't at the moment, but with your help, maybe I can. It's to do with getting the car on its roadworthy test, annual roadworthy test, and it has some mechanical issues. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball, guys. We've been lied to about who we are and where we live. Earth is flat, man, not a spinning rock. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We've been lied to about space travel. Earth is flat, you are the center of creation. We are the center of creation. Earth is not a spinning bubble in space. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Water's level.
It's in Sweden.
Water will always find level. Earth is flat. Yeah, so PayPal, buy me a coffee, those sorts of things if you can. We've also got a free masterclass coming up on Monday from 8 p.m. UK. If you want to join in, you'll need to contact me for the details. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. We didn't evolve from monkeys. Evolution is a deception. We didn't evolve from monkeys. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, no matter where you're born. Still flat Earth. Take a flyer, free your mind. Earth is flat. The water is always going to find level. Earth is flat. But if you've been such a good boy to pay the price, get the camping car, you don't want that to be unreal. Earth is flat. The hills are hilly, but the water's level. Water's level. Earth is flat. Okay. Earth is flat. Space travel has been faked. It's all Disney. Do you watch Disney? Do you ever watch NASA?
No.
Because NASA and Disney are the same company. Did you know that? They're pretty much the same. They fake space travel to keep you small. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. They lie about space travel. Earth is flat. No. Water's always going to find level. Earth is mostly water.
Shut up! I don't want to listen to
No?
you. I said no, thank you.
Alright, well, water is always going to find level, and Earth is not spinning. Sorry if it triggers you. Andrea said the energies today would be a little tempestuous. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We've been lied to about who we are and where we live. NASA is Disney for children, adults. Freudian. Because they keep us in the child mind. That's, you know, what people are defending is something we learned when we were 7 years old. There's nothing like extremely complex about the theories, you know. Oh, you can't understand it. Well, I get my head around it before I was 10 years old. What they taught you when you were in junior school is a lie. We can't live on a rock that spins in space. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, mate, not a spinning rock. My new banner is pretty cool, actually. Luke and Andrew helped me work on it. So if you want to make a contribution towards the cost of that and the new flyers that are obviously not now going to be premiered until I get to Speaker's Corner. This is a nice old car. Very nice car. Very cool. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Water always finds level. Earth is 70% water. So 70% of our Earth must be flat. No spinning rock is going to hold water. Earth is flat, friends. Earth is flat. That lady was a little bit angry. Did you see that angry lady?
Oh, mister, what did she say? I saw her.
Don't talk to me. I said I'm talking. I can't speak a little bit loud on the street anymore. You should work for the government. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. Thermodynamics requires containment for pressure. Felix Baumgartner there with his Red Bull jump.
Once again, we'd like to thank you for attending this evening.
Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We've been lied to about who we are and where we live. We are the center of creation, not evolved apes. ODG TV. You haven't seen him around for a long time.
Well, anyone with common sense would know that in actuality, the Earth
Earth is not a globe, it's flat. Did you hear that ever before, ma'am? Earth is flat, stationary. If you're new to the stream, I've got a little bit of chalk on the other side of the road here trying to catch people's attention. A quick look. Been a little bit walked on. There's some down here. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. I do thank you for joining the stream, the live stream. I appreciate that, and I hope you're having a good day. It is Saturday. Across the plain pretty much everywhere. Aussies will say, no, it's bloody Sunday, mate. Sunday, bloody Sunday. You know, how do you have night time in Australia? It's, you see it from the whole earth. As an app is actually doing good work. It's got a lot. I mean, I know most people will probably be flat earthers, but really give credit man, Earth is flat. I wrote it this way so that drivers, when they stopped at this traffic light here, Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Yeah, when drivers are that gives me an idea. I'll probably go and hit the button to force more drivers to stop. This is actually one of those 4D moments that Dave Murphy was talking about on his interview with me the other day. Is that I go and push this, and it slows the traffic for 30 seconds or whatever, and somebody arrives at the right time at their destination. Hopefully, it's a positive thing. Earth is flat. That window was probably convex and round too, so naturally the surface. Yeah, so Sundays in Speaker's Corner over the next month. Try and join me if you can. Earth is flat, sir. Ma'am, Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball.
Moving at a 20 rate of speed that stays the same, so the movement is controlled unless the power change. That's the same. We fly off of the planet spinning around. And please don't try to say that the gravity keeps us down. Gravity is the non-existent force.
Dean's going to put some more chalk down. Earth is flat, sir. All the way from here to Canada.
New Zealand.
New Zealand? Yeah, same.
Traveling over horizons by ship, and the curved shadow of the moon.
You need to come with the old hairspray like Lisa does. The Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Space travel is faked to make us believe that we're insignificant. You're the center of creation, not an evolved monkey. See what he said? We are insignificant. It's worked. What's true is that the Earth is not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Sarah's sitting unusually because she sprained her ankle recently. Very badly, so sorry about that.
So I'm trying to chill out with it.
Earth is flat, ma'am, not a spinning globe. That's a lie. They lie about the space.
Look,
How are you doing?
I drove past, I saw you and
Oh, okay.
what are you doing, man?
You like what we're doing? How long have you known that the Earth is not a spinning ball?
Well, I wouldn't say 100% on either side, but I'm
Okay.
open-minded enough to question each side, you know.
Okay. Have you looked at the curvature formula?
Yeah, I've looked into a fair bit.
Yeah.
Again, there's more that makes sense to this than what they feed us. But
Yeah.
same time, when we get these debates, me and my brother, we get to the end of it, round or flat.
What does it matter?
Here we go.
Well, this is what I
But then there's the trap side of it. As if it is flat, then it's more to question. You know?
Yeah. Is there more land? reliant on a flat Earth? Are we something more than they've had us believe? You know, that we're evolved apes and we just happen to be in a Goldilocks zone? Or are we created on purpose? And if that be true, the latter be true, then they're hiding this truth about the globe and the flat Earth on purpose to hide that truth about who we really are. I think we are the center of creation. I was an atheist 10 years ago, but now I know that we are the center of creation, and they hide the lie of this creation so that we never realize that. Because if we realize that, we wouldn't put up with the controls at the physical level, and perhaps we would realize our higher fourth dimensional or whatever it is kind of higher self, and realize that we're an expression of our higher self looking to achieve something here in this mission. But if I've come here and I've deceived you, then you're never going to find the true path, because you're off course right from the day you're born to the day you die, rather than finding your true path, which is only yours to determine, not for me to determine. You're your own master.
Oh yes.
You're the master of your own ship. You should be.
Thoughts on Freemasonry?
Well, at the lower levels, I think it's a gentleman's club, and they support each other and they do good works. At the very senior levels, I think that they know stuff, and they're doing this to either nefarious ends, or they're doing it because we need an opponent. If you're ever going to become the best pilot of your ship, then you need to have sailed in stormy weather. And when you come through that stormy weather, you can say, man, I'm a pilot. I can handle the storms of seas. But if all you ever did was stay in a little paddling pond and float your boat around a little pool, you've never had to endure the sort of hardships that make you a really hardened, good captain, right, of your own ship. So you need that test. If you were running a 100 meters race and you were the fastest guy, you wouldn't go faster. But if someone who was faster than you turned up, you'd be like, damn, I can push myself more, and I will go
better yourself.
I will better myself. So we can see it either that the system is designed to control us, curtail us, and curb us, or it could be that it's here to kind of encourage us, or for the possibility of self-mastery.
Again, duality in it all and all that stuff. What's your thoughts on the last few years, my man? Where things are going? Jab, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was...
you might be doing this for just this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I lost my bigger YouTube channel because I was talking too much against the narrative, So for me, it was always controlled, and it was always designed to control. Maybe make us more in hock to the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, more reliant on them rather than on nature. Maybe it was that. And some people say it's just about Pfizer making billions of dollars. No, I think that's the entry-level stuff. I think that there's more controls being brought down on you to limit you from what was once a few hundred years ago a completely autonomous natural being to someone now who's just a rat in a rat house, who has to follow all the constrictions that the rat house demands of you, all the limitations and all the competition with your brother and so on. Because in nature's abundant. And there should be enough resources on earth for every man to kind of have freedom to travel, to experience his higher self, to meditate, to find his own good. But they keep us busy until we're too tired, until you're retired. They'll keep you busy all week long, all year long, give you a couple of weeks off if you're lucky, and then at the end of it, you go and play golf for 3 or 4 years and you die because you don't know what to do with yourself anymore. Just like you remember the movie Shawshank Redemption?
Oh yes.
The old man Brooks, who was finally given parole after 50 years inside, he didn't know what to do with himself because he didn't have a master telling him when to piss, eat, go to sleep, whatnot. He couldn't be his own master anymore. Whereas Andy Dufresne, the lead character, he knows that he's fit up for a crime he never committed, but none of the inmates are going to be able to help him. They'll probably dob on him, so he never talks about what he's doing. He quietly builds his own way out of there and finds his freedom on a beach with a boat, doing his own thing, being his own captain.
What it all is before we get started, What's your feedback been like today? I was going to say, I've driven past you, so I saw people...
Yeah, mixed. The astrology in the flat earth conception, we believe that the stars are energy centers that are moving through the sky. And these energy centers are really close, and they're linked to each of us individually, uniquely, depending on when you were born and what star sign, moon sign, and all these sorts of things. And these energies come into alignment or conjunction at certain times, and when that happens, their power is magnified and their effect on the earth is magnified. So the people who run the world, like for example the Vatican, have the biggest telescope in the world. They invest heavily in telescopes because they watch what the stars are doing. They want to see when these things are going to happen, because they use those timings to create events, so 9/11 and Princess Diana. They strike. Same with the lockdowns. If you look at the astrology on the first day of the lockdowns, it's like, damn, it all fits with what was going on in the sky. And so my wife said to me today, because she's studies this from a flat earth perspective. She says the energies of the moment are contentious, so you will get people a little angry today in the street. So we've had a little bit of anger, but we've had some people who go, okay, I'm willing to hear some of that. But
Most people open-minded about it?
No.
No.
No, it's still
It's
not.
round, and you've seen the videos, and you've seen NASA.
I know, I know. And you're telling me all these people have lied and all this sort of stuff. It's too hard to, if you've been indoctrinated into a belief system all your life, for me to come and say, hey, we're all equal. I come through from South Africa, and if I go to some people, even today, 30 years after Mandela came to power, still there's some people say, no, we're not born equal. There's the black and the white, and they're not the same. Whereas, I know that we're all carrying the same blood, we're all from the same source, really. And so I live my life, and I try and encourage others to live their life from that kind of basis, rather than this you versus me dialectic, the dark versus the light. Now, in nature, we need the winter and the summer. We need the night and the day. Those are important elements of how this system works. So your system, your own system, has a night and a day. It has a loving and a dark side, if you like. And our journey is to, balance the light and the dark, rather than live too much in the light or live too much in the dark. Which is like what a gangster, to take the example of a gangster, he's come up in his neighborhood where the only way to survive is to be in the dark. And so his life story will possibly just be a life lived in the dark, never coming into the light, or never certainly coming into a harmony or a balance with yourself and then those around you.
You need to see it yourself to meditate. Yeah. Again, I agree with everything you're saying on that sort of thing. What's your aim for the day as such? To just wake more people up, or make people question things?
To get people to start, because you can't just hear about flat Earth and go, oh yeah. I mean, 1 in 10,000 might say, yeah, I've always thought that it was flat. But in the main, most people aren't going to change their minds. But at least what we're doing is hopefully sparking the beginning of a discussion, and then eventually someone who goes and tests these claims about the Earth water being level and so on. They go and test them themselves, and then the journey starts. For me, flat Earth is like simply a gateway truth to the nature of our true reality and who we really are. It's only the entry point. You can't get stuck there.
Critical thinking's infinite.
Yeah, but once that opens your mind to the possibility of what we might be and what this place might be, it really sets aside all the TV programming of politics, of bread and circuses. All that sort of stuff becomes irrelevant, and it becomes more about, who am I and what am I in the world? So I'm and then occasionally I'll meet someone like yourself who's given a decent, fair, not just shut their mind off to it and go, okay, there's some more information for you.
I think it's all going on right now. Eh?
Yeah.
I'm young in this. I'm only 30 years old, but from my generation, I've shut off to everybody. Since the COVID thing, I've become a recluse in a path, spiritual path. Always sort of been questioning it, but in the last few years, I've sort of, again, when you spot your others, you sort of know that at least other people are. When I saw you on the street, I was like, at least there's still some out there. I've been protesting the last few years, just trying to get out the truth about this, that, and everything else, just a bigger picture. But again, then you sort of comes in ebbs and flows. I find I always come back to a point of, I know it, and then and then it's back to, again, question everything. So you know it, and then know nothing, and then it's
It's a narrow path to freedom, It's a lonely path, and it's one that you can only take on your own. And yes, it does cause us to fall out with family members, loved ones, friends, and so on. That's been my experience anyway. So it's a hard journey, but again, it's sailing in a choppy seas with an engine that's failing you and so on is very hard. But can you come through that? And once you come through that, by living by your example, people will be drawn to you, even if they do not agree with everything that you're saying about that. They'll be like, I love your energy. I'm connected to the way that you present yourself in the world, even though I can't see everything that you can see. And then eventually, maybe they start in years to come, they start to come around to these things. I know COVID did a lot for getting people to think again. I've spoken to a lot of people who said since COVID, I've been willing to look at some of these unpalatable truths that I would never consider looking at before. So I think it's a journey, and maybe the events that are coming will spark more people's awakening. One thing to say about protesting, because there was a lot of that went on, people woke up out of COVID and gone, shit, we've been hoodwinked, right? So there was a lot of protesting in the street. And going to call it out. Now they're coming at it from like the opposite of that. So you're the negative to the positive, or positive to the negative. So you're still actually playing in the duality rather than going, okay, I've seen all of that, I've done my bit of protesting or whatever, but now I've because prospers when good men do nothing, but now it comes back to me. Now, a lot of people get left behind or lost in the protest, and that's all they become identified by.
That's why I had to step back personally. Because, like, again, you've got to question who's there for what reasons, what agendas, and the rest of it. And I was like, again, you know what you know. There's no point shouting about those who shall find out, shall find out. Or we try our bit. You know what I mean?
But if you're caught in a fight, then you're still sort of giving your energy to their system, even though you're calling out, and you might be absolutely right on the things you're calling out, because there are atrocities are happening every day, and they've been happening every day. It depends on what theatre you go and look at. You can find atrocities everywhere.
Yeah, energy harvesting as such when it comes to.
Yeah, some people say that is that there's like a louche thing that they want to harvest your energy. So even us standing angrily in Parliament, for example, maybe our energy is being used towards some, ill thing. Or if you think about it as a battery, you need it to balance positive and negative, so that you've got this good flow of energy going around serving your agenda. But if you can remove your energy from it and say, I'm not going to play in your game anymore, I see you, but I'm not going to get caught up and going shout. I want to tell people and be in a watcher on the tower and say, hey, there's something you need to be aware of. But if they're in that sort of, I can't face that, I can't look at that, or I'm not ready to look at that, they are going to be comfortable with that too. But for those who go, I'm thinking about these things, what does it really mean? And for me, once I came through Flat Earth 7-8 years ago, I started researching what it could be. I took TNT in 2015, and I realized that we're not just these flesh suits that are, here today, gone tomorrow. We are eternal beings of love, of light, and we're here having a short-term incarnation, as this expression that I see in front of me. Who's here to learn something, to grow from something. And I take it further and say, I think there's a soul waiting for you to learn lessons. Doesn't mind if you don't. God maybe got eternity to work it out. So it's not like, if you don't, bad boy. But if you do, then you bring something home. That's the gold. That's the jewel that your higher self is looking for. And that's why
Love your words, my man. Love your words, my man.
Thank you.
You speak a language. Again, I've had to come back to the music, because again, speaking, I can never do justice with the words. Again, you're fluent with it. I've definitely suppressed it a lot more over the last few years, but I've come back to the music now, to write the word and to speak it that way. So I think that's my personal path, to speak it aloud. But
there's a growing truth kind of music genre, if you like. And so if I give you this is an app called the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Zodiac app. It's £3, one-time payment, and that is full of great contacts in the music side. You can see what other people are doing musically. There's also got great evidences, because if you go into YouTube and search for this stuff, you mostly get debunking information. And if you're trying to pass information to friends and so on, then this guy has put together a really good sort of library of the best evidences that we've come across, to kind of underscore this. But from a musical point of view, you might find some inspiration from what other people are doing.
I'll look into it. And your vlog, are you YouTubing?
Yeah, I'm live on
got
YouTube.
YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, I do.
I've checked that out, man.
It's actually, I think it's on here. Let me see on the back of that. Does it say Trinity 4?
I'm sure I'll find you somewhere, my man.
I don't have any. Oh, actually, I've got a card you can have. Yeah, the universe is you. You know this. That's my wife and my card. It's got my email address. Feel free to email me. My YouTube account is on there. Check it out. This live stream will be on there.
Yeah, you doing this everywhere, or you local?
We've been around a lot of places. These guys go out probably more often than I do. I'll be at Speaker's Corner during August, so I've got a little family, and so I have to put a lot of my energy into keeping them, safe or in a good situation, because we haven't been in the system for 5 years. We've been traveling 5 years, haven't had the job and that kind of thing. So mostly my YouTube supporters have kept me afloat.
It's the way forward, eh? Again, coming away from this system and trying to build our own and the rest of it.
Try and do everything to pull you back in, hook you back in. News stories, Trump getting hit in the ear, whatever. It'll do anything you can to get
see through it, eh? My man, been a pleasure.
What's your name?
Ralph.
Yourself? I'm Dave.
Good to meet you, man. Might see you down the line somewhere.
Yeah, cheers, Ralph. All the best.
Take care.
I really enjoyed that conversation with Ralph. I hope you enjoyed that conversation.
Rather than what we're being told.
loving it.
I'm doing the third year.
Simple acknowledgement of the pressure. Thanks, guys. Very much. Absolutely. That's how it's starting to get There's Mars and Gemini.
Yeah, more and more people.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go, I'll tell you, I wasn't going to go on the jabs thing. I thought that was going to be a trigger. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We're the center of creation. The school has indoctrinated you to believe you're a monkey evolved. Hi, and Gil and Dave. Hi, Tony. Thanks for your support over the times. I really appreciate it. Schematics of the blade across. Absolutely, mate. But I was also, not willing to acknowledge that, as a Darwinian, I was not willing to acknowledge that. Earth is still flat and unmoving. It hasn't moved since you walked past 20 minutes ago. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We've been lied to since childhood. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. You can't walk on the underside of a ball. You can walk on a flat earth. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. You are the center of creation. Hard to believe. Earth is flat. Experience. Hello mates. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. NASA fake space, never went to the moon. Never went to the moon, man. Space is fake, we never went to the moon. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, man. Not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, sir. You fall off a ball. Water always finds level. Water will always find level. Water seeks and finds level. Earth is flat. Not a ball. Not a globe. No globo. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Electromagnetic. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We're in Dorking. I want to thank anybody who's been able to support us today. As I said earlier, I've got a bill looming to get this car serviced, and it's important. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning rock. Space is faked by NASA, all CGI and Hollywood. The Flat Earth podcast is a good place to start. That's what Dean wrote here. Earth is flat, my friend, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, we can't live on a ball. Rivers don't run up the side of a ball. Gravity is a deception, it's all buoyancy, it's all density. Heavy things fall, light things float. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Only that blue hair is very good in a due directed energy thing. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Yeah, I've had one or two quite triggered people in my face today, but their last conversation with Ralph was superb. Earth is flat, mate. We don't live on a ball, they've lied to us. NASA fake space, government is to control your mind. Government equals governmental. Mental. Earth is flat, my friend. We can't prove that we live on a spinning ball. We only believe it. It's like a religion.
So you're going to convince me that the Earth is flat?
No, but I'm going to ask you to consider the possibility that we have been lied to and that we can't demonstrate that water will cling to a ball other than for using a theory. Because something heavy falls to the floor in this air, now water is going to stick to the underside of Australia and run up the side of Africa and all these sorts of things. When in fact we know that water runs downhill, always. Runs downhill until it's contained. There, when it's contained, it will form a pool. And that pool will be perfectly level. Not only that the next pool down will be horizontal with that.
What is your intention with trying to persuade people that the Earth is flat?
Well, this is a gateway truth. That actually we've been deceived about who we are and where we are. That we are the center of creation, we are the reason for all of this, but they rather have us, as I used to believe, that we are evolved apes. And that thanks to the Big Bang, we just happen to be in the Goldilocks zone. Rather than this place was built by a designer, and the designer may be within you, or you may well be the designer or an expression of the designer. And that's what this means, because the globe puts us in the vacuum of space. Do you know that the Big Bang was invented, the theory was invented by a Catholic priest?
Well, he was a clever guy.
Well, it was a good idea, but at the end of the day, nothing exploding is going to create the beauty that we see in nature. The Fibonacci sequence, you know, of how things are all built in these sequential growing patterns, all from an explosion.
Okay. Well, I just think it's one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen, actually, on the streets of Dorking.
Oh,
So
okay. Well,
I hope you have a nice day.
Sparks the conversation.
I hope you have a nice day.
You too. All the best. School is mind control.
Yeah.
School wants to keep you small. Wants to make you a good slave. That's what school is for.
What else? What else?
Earth is not a spinning ball. NASA is faking space, faking the International Space Station, the moon landings. It's all CGI and Hollywood. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe, sir.
Yeah, done.
Good day. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We can't be monkeys on a ball. Evolution that we came from monkeys is a deception, and we can't walk up the side of a ball. Earth is flat. Research it. Yeah, I'm going to have some big days in Speaker's Corner coming up soon. Oh, thanks, Conspiracy Music Bureau. I was zoomed in, but you know how I hope I didn't have that whole conversation as well. Zoomed in. I got some cool t-shirts that Luke's been designing. I want to just get them onto a platform to promote them. And you'll see my new banner hopefully next weekend. Well, yeah, next Sunday at Speaker's Corner. Although I'm considering going in for Saturday where there's a freedom protest. See lightning 300 miles. Nice to see you. And you can see lightning at 300 miles, which is cool. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We've been lied to about who we are and where we are. The globe is a deception. We can't live on a spinning ball. The sun is small in the sky, not millions of miles away. Earth is flat, chaps. We've been lied to. You play on a pitch. You don't play on a ball. You play with a ball. Look like a rugger chap. Earth is flat, sir.
It is onion on each side.
What? Onion on each side?
Yeah, square, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know what's beneath us. But it must be contained. Water must be contained, right? Water must be contained.
Yeah.
So we live inside a great lake.
No, the lake's inside the earth.
Oh, it could be. Well, we know that we've got lakes of oil,
That's why it's square.
lakes of water. There's huge aquifers under the earth. But all of them are at level, same level above sea level, 800 meters, 1,000 meters. Everything is given from a mean sea level. There's only one sea level on the plane we call Earth. And everything is above it or below it. It's all level, horizontal.
It's not level.
Well, a little bit of tide, a little bit of swell, but over 1,000 miles, that's not noticeable if it's in the size of a pool. Have a nice day. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. Earth is flat, man. Don't raise your child on this false belief that we live on a globe. It's not true. It's designed to hide God within. Can I offer you some such a little literature on electromagnetics? Yeah, that Ralph guy, I suppose I call Ralph, and he's really on Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. That's some info. Sorry? Earth is flat, we are electromagnetic center of creation. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. You want some information? Yes, yes it's flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. NASA fake space, it's all CGI. It's all Disney to keep adults entertained. Thank you. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning rock in space. NASA fake space. And dinosaurs are fake too. Sorry. Let's not brainwash our babies. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. It says Earth is flat. Space travel is fake. It's all Disney. Let's do a little bit of the coffee, huh? Earth is flat, not a spinning rock.
No, I'm good to say so.
Do you want a mouthful? It's a little left in there. Earth is flat, Dorking. You can't live on the side of a spinning ball. We can't measure that the ball is spinning. Cheers. Thumbs up there. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We didn't evolve from apes. We are the center of creation. We are the center of the earth. Earth is not a spinning ball, man. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We've been lied to about space, space travel, moon landings, International Space Fake Station. It's all fake, it's all CGI, it's all Hollywood. Space may be the final frontier. Of course the Earth is flat. How else would you stay on the turtle? Yes, but we don't believe in that.
How else would the turtle stay on?
Yeah. How does a ball float in space? Or is it depending on warping of time and space? That's impossible. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. You know that?
I certainly do.
Good man. Oh, good for you. Take my flyer.
Thank you.
We're electromagnetic. We are the center of creation. Have a good one.
600 miles an hour. Have you not seen my husband on a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Sense of humour of everybody.
But time and space is not being bent to warp and float a ball on it.
Oh.
Yeah, for real. Water runs downhill. It must be contained. It won't sit on a ball. You can't prove that. It's just a belief. Don't live in a lie. Now, if you wanted evidence that the flat earth movement is growing, then that guy's t-shirt debunking the turtle idea is evidence of that. Because more and more people are kind of having to make an opinion. You understand? Earth is flat, not a spinning rock, my friend. NASA and the governments lie to you. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Thanks for joining the live stream. Voice marker. Why are there so few flat earthers doing street activism? That's a good question. Sea Lightning 300. When I first started doing street activism proper in 2018, I joined a group of flat earthers at Speaker's Corner, and there were probably 40 or 50 of us in total that day. And that's probably the most flat earthers, aside from maybe at a festival or something like that, that have congregated and to do that. And I thought that it would grow. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. I thought that it would grow, the numbers of people doing activism, but it's not played out like that in reality. People are trapped in the online conversation. Whereas this breaks the algorithm. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball, sir. We've been lied to you about where we live. So I would like to do it more than I do. Earth is flat, man, not a spinning ball. We're not evolved apes. I'd like to do it more than I do, and I'd like to see more people doing it more than they do. I think it takes a certain amount of courage to get out in the street and do it. Earth is flat. I think it's easier to do it behind the keyboard. Earth is flat, brother. We do not live on a spinning space ball. We do not evolve from apes. We are created perfect by a creator. So is the earth. Earth is flat, bro. Yeah, so yeah, we don't. I mean, there are people doing activism, whether they're writing stuff on this or putting stickers up. There are people doing stuff, sometimes even street activism, but it doesn't necessarily get filmed. So there haven't really been many new additions to the street activism scene in the years I've been doing it. And these guys are. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. NASA fake space. NASA is Disney for adults. So, but my new banner I think is going to be pretty punchy. I'm hoping you like it. It comes with new flyers. If you want to contribute towards the cost of that, PayPal, etc., etc., return links. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Stepping outside the matrix has not been easy, without its challenges, I should say. And one of them is funding what we do. You know, obviously a big part of my effort is in raising our young son, keeping the rest of the family in as good a shape as I can. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We can't walk on the underside of a ball. Gravity, I haven't heard of gravity. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, man. We don't live on a rock floating in space. Yeah, the new banner, I'm looking forward to getting that up. It was due to be delivered yesterday, but whatever it's called, UPS had a failure. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. It's pretty quiet actually, to be fair, but we've never done Dorking until now. Earth is flat, Dorking, not a spinning ball. I've got water here.
It's one phrase that never gets tiring, is it?
What, Earth is flat?
Yeah.
NASA never went to the moon. International Space Station is in a swimming pool. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Did you hear that before?
I have done.
Yeah. Have you looked into it?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, you should, man. We can't prove that we live on a spinning ball. We can't prove that. I used to believe we live on a spinning ball. Now we can't prove that it's spinning, nor that we can get water to form around it outside of the ball. Water, when at rest, must be level, always, and it has to be contained. So we believe that our oceans are contained somehow, and that they're level. There is a variation in tides, but ultimately there's a baseline level called mean sea level. And all mountains are given a height above that same mean sea level, no matter which continent you're looking at. When you travel from England, from the east coast to the west coast, you'll go from sea level on one side, travel up 300 or 400 meters to the middle, and then go down 300 or 400 meters again to get to the Wales or wherever. And that's exactly what you would find if you would cross Africa, the same thing, that it's the same sea level, you just go up a certain amount more and then come down that same amount. So Earth is not moving. You know, there's no scientific experiment to demonstrate, prove that Earth is spinning. It's the lights in the sky that are moving above us, rather than, you know.
Why are they moving then?
Well, because it's a moving torus. Do you know what a torus is? Like an onion or an apple?
Okay.
An electromagnetic torus. And that energy is whirling, or it's like a whirlpool. It's turning all the time. So like a clock, the sky is moving above our heads, and it's been exactly the same star formations for all of recorded human history. Exactly the same.
Yep.
But they tell us that everything is flying at millions of miles an hour in all different directions from a Big Bang, and yet these things have stayed in exactly the same place. They tell us it's because they're far away, but we can see evidence that these things are much closer, like the sun and the moon. We can see pictures of them in the clouds. Like they're super low. When a full moon night comes and we're almost there and it's cloudy, you'll see how the moon just illuminates around your head or around where you live. But your mate who's 10 miles down the road, it looks dark where he lives. However, he will tell you that it's light where he is and dark where you are.
Yeah.
So there's something mystical about the way that these lights are working. It's not what they tell us, that they're millions of miles away and there's, you know, this heat and light is coming through the vacuum, super cold space and then becoming hot again and so on. None of that stuff really stacks up.
Yeah.
So the ultimate story is that we've been deceived.
Yeah.
And we're being deceived because they don't want you to know who you really are and what this place is. This place is like a school for your soul. Your higher self has come here in this incarnation to learn something. But if I'm deceiving you about who you are and where you are and what you're meant to be doing here, you will never achieve what your higher self determined for you to achieve. I'll write on the electromagnetic universe. There's some information on it. Just food for thought.
I'll have a look, mate.
All the best.
Thank you.
Nicer interaction.
Yeah.
Nicer interaction. Someone who's learned to think about. Yes, Dorking, Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. NASA fakes space to make you believe you're an insignificant monkey on a marble.
Can you convince me that the Earth is flat?
No.
I'm not challenging you.
No.
I'm asking you.
I think only each man
'Cause
or
I don't
woman
know.
can convince themselves, because it's a
Okay.
personal journey of discovery.
Okay.
Well, let's say we were all programmed and brainwashed in the same way.
Yeah.
You getting out of that brainwash is only going to be dependent on you. Yes, you
So
might come
I've
across
tried
some
to.
information.
That's what I'm saying. I've tried to.
Okay.
Because I want to believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Because I think it makes a lot more sense. But the more I look into it, then I always see a counter argument. And I don't think that it's conclusive.
Yeah.
But I can see, obviously, you guys are absolutely convinced in the same way other people are convinced about the globe.
The globe, yeah. Okay, so let's start by prefacing this by saying I don't know exactly how the Earth works. I'm not making any positive claim about what it sits on, how it all works and turns and so on. But when it comes to water as our baseline, then we know that water will settle level.
Of course.
So that's my starting point, is that whatever we live on, it has a body of water. Like if you and I were ants on a lake and there was a rocky outcrop in the middle of that lake, then our experience would be of this whole world that we can experience, which is a little rocky outcrop on a massive lake that we can't cross.
Yeah.
So that's the simple, what could the Earth be if it's not the spinning ball in space?
Yeah.
Then once you get into that, past that, you realize, well, maybe this Earth isn't actually a material Earth. It's all, like Nikola Tesla said, it's all electromagnetic. Even in quantum physics, they say that the dominant force in the universe is electromagnetic, not gravitation. Yeah. So what if it's an electromagnetic Earth? Then you start to look into nature to see, how can I answer that? Well, nature shows us round things like apples and oranges.
Yeah.
But what it shows us also is that the fruit of the orange is always inside the skin or the peel. Always. Never on the outside. Nothing in nature grows on the outside of its skin. The skin always contains it, the shell, the peel, the bark. All of these things are, the fruit is inside. So what if our universe, or our earth that we are standing on, is the seeds at the center of the orange? That's the only hard part of the orange, the rest of it is water. Well, our atmosphere is water, our oceans are water. And all around us, we're surrounded by this water on a tiny little rock outcrop that we call England or Africa or wherever. And then if you take that from the macrocosm, being the macro story, to the microcosm, what if each of us are an tiny little electromagnetic dynamo, a little electromagnetic system, which is also an apple or an orange, and at the center of that electromagnetic system is the seed, which is you, and you are the product of your father. You are the seed of your father, incarnated, or your mother, incarnated into this physical avatar that I see before me. But around you is an electromagnetic system.
Yeah, I believe all that for sure.
Yeah, so that makes sense at the quantum level, and it makes sense at the macro level that we might be inside of an orange or a big bubble.
Yeah.
And inside that containment, whilst it's sealed, the orange stays healthy, the moisture doesn't leave it, the air doesn't leave it.
So like a firmament, is that what you're describing?
Yeah. We call it a firmament. That's kind of biblical.
Yeah.
You know, they use that term in the Bible.
They
so
do,
anyone who's read the Bible and as a teenager...
Well, I'm Christian, that's why it makes a lot more sense to me.
As a teenager, I used to joke with the preacher and say, why are you guys, your Bible's so out of date? Because, you know, science tells us that we're on a globe, but you don't talk about that at all in the Bible. You talk about a flat, unmoving earth with a roof and a container, pillars set upon pillars. Who knows what's beneath? We've only drilled 8 miles into the earth, so we don't really know about any core or what might really be inside. So that, for me, makes a lot more sense with the biblical teachings, but also with the physical experience of this world. Is that when I take a flight to South Africa, I'm going a quarter of the way around the globe, so my perpendicular has gone from here to here. My body doesn't know about it. The water in my glass doesn't know about it. The spirit level, the gyroscope, they won't tell you that you've changed your aspect. You're still on the same horizontal as you were in Heathrow.
So what do you think the... because I accept all of that, that's fine. But what do you ultimately believe? Why is the deception there? I have my own view on it. But why do you believe the deception is there? Who's doing the deception? What's the ultimate goal of the deception, in your view?
Well, from a biblical perspective, that would be Satan.
It would be,
And Satan is an old word that used to be pronounced Satan.
It is,
And so Satan means the opponent. And so one might say that it's simply all darkness spewing itself on the earth, evil, the devil, all these sorts of things. Or it could be that it's kind of like a God testing himself and saying, I'm going to put myself in harm's way or in a dangerous situation. I'm going to test myself and see whether I can come through that
that's garbage. The first one makes sense. The second one doesn't make any sense.
All right, well, I keep it both on the table because I don't know.
But why the second one? Why would that one make sense?
Well, because I think that we're meant to be the master of our own ship. We're meant to be our own captain. It's your heart that the truth is written upon. And it's your heart that you should be listening to, not the heart of another man.
Okay, so if my truth says that I should murder you, what makes that wrong?
Well, if you believe that, then your heart has been damaged.
But how do you know that if I say it's true?
Well, God's golden rule is.
But that's God's God. So now you're saying there's a truth outside of me and outside of you.
Yeah.
So it's not a truth that I follow of myself. I'm following God, not.
Okay, that's a fair point. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. And I think that there is a higher echelon.
Well, there has to be, right?
Towards the Most High.
In order for us to agree on what's right and wrong, we have to both be able to point to something outside of ourselves to both agree, yes, that's right and wrong. Right?
Some people call it natural law, that the natural law is to do no harm. You know, so if we all start with that baseline, then the dogs in a pack are going to play with each other, but to do not. However, if I put that pack of 10 puppies into a cage and I only give them 3 puppies worth of food every day, then they will start to harm each other. They will actually kill the other dog in order to get to the food. Well, that's what I believe God's creation has been usurped, perhaps, by the 1,000 years of Satan's reign and all of that kind of thing, where it has pit man against man.
Do you think the 1,000 years already started? So, give me a rundown on.
I think that I like the idea that we're at the end of that 1,000-year cycle.
Really?
Yeah, but I can't say, because I don't even know that the history of the last 2,000 years since Christ is true. That there's a whole body of research that suggests 1,000 years has been inserted into our calendar when they switched to Gregorian.
I've seen that theory.
we see buildings in our world that suggest, just like the Bible says, that there were men of renown, that there were giants men, you know, there were much bigger men.
Yeah, absolutely. Nephilim.
And that these could build in ways that we still marvel at
Absolutely,
today.
and it was all ruined by the flood. Yeah.
By the flood, or
Yeah.
other mud floods, or other events, or epoch-ending events that
Yeah.
have broken mankind down from the original higher version, perhaps, of ourselves to the lower, more material, dense, you know, dog eat dog, 7 deadly sins, all of that kind of stuff. And so maybe it's just a journey that, like nature, goes through the deep of winter, where everything is dying off, and then it comes up back out into the spring, and then we start to live in a higher consciousness and blah, blah, blah.
So do you believe that what's written in the Bible is true?
I think it's
because you're referring to it a lot.
Yeah, but I, you know, when I first found Flat Earth in 2015, I went and bought another Bible because I'd become an atheist.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, the Bible was right all along, because I was joking about it as a kid, you know, that it's telling us the truth, you know.
Yeah.
So I think there are vast truths in the Bible, but I also am mindful of who gave us the Bible. You know, who has King James version, which version means.
But you can read the Greek, you can read the Hebrew, you can.
But do I even trust, you know, those people that they couldn't have controlled or hidden the story of what the Bible is trying to say behind allegory?
So which
it's not
parts
necessarily all literal.
Okay, so which parts of the Bible do you fundamentally disagree with? So we can agree that the Bible says that God created everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that correct? Would you
God
agree with that?
spoke or created, but the verse,
Universe,
the vibration,
yeah, got it.
Because everything is vibration, like Neville.
It may well be
Taylor
true,
said, yeah.
but we agree that a God made everything, right?
Yeah.
You and I can agree that?
I think that. I believe that, actually.
Cool.
Yeah, I believe that.
Do we agree then that Satan, the opposer, amassed a third of the angels, came down, had sex with women, they then created the Nephilim, there was blood and violence all among the earth, God looked at the earth and said, hey, this is a disgrace, wiped out the earth. Do we agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, look.
That explains the pyramids.
Yeah,
it explains because
how
that was all
these-
built by these crazy Nephilim,
with
angel
technologies
hybrids,
and-
crazy technologies.
Yeah.
It explains all of that, right?
Yeah, I think it worked quite well.
And then the flood came in and wiped all of that out. Effectively started history again.
Yeah.
You then got Noah coming out of the right.
Yeah.
So are we on the same page so
I think
far?
that's about right. But I don't think there's necessarily only one Noah's flood. As I said, I think there's been epochs, and we might be in the 5th epoch.
Okay.
So there have been events. I go around towns like this and find that there's always buildings under the ground.
Yeah.
And this suggests to me a mud flood. So whether it came from a water flood that left a sediment, or that there was a mud flood, and God talks about 4 different types of events, you know, fire, air, water, and earth. You know, is that there's going to be these other events used to cleanse, wash the place.
Yeah, so there's fire coming.
But what if you're the controllers of this world and you have this knowledge that there's going to come a time when Sodom and Gomorrah is going to get washed away? If you know that, maybe you can prepare, hide, and particularly if the earth is flat, hide knowledge of the continents we know about, and then when the flood is past, reseed the earth with people giving your knowledge and your version of the history. So that's where I think...
But to what end?
To control and usurp God's intention.
Okay, but...
Or to give you a test, like I suggested.
Because all of this comes down to, right, I think, ultimately, because we can go backwards and forwards about who thinks what and who thinks this. The whole thing is about what do you believe happens when you die. That's the whole thing, right? What happens at death? I believe that Jesus solved that conundrum 100%. I get the sense that you would disagree with that, and that Jesus is not who... I don't think we would agree on what I believe relative to that, right?
Yeah, I think he was... I like the idea that he was real, so I don't dismiss...
Well, he is the most historically, even from historians, right?
Well, from
he
what
existed.
From what I understand, none of the writings of the Bible are written in the time of his life. They're all written 30 years and 300 years after his existence. So I wouldn't knock that he existed, nor would I knock that Muhammad was going around in the Middle East and telling people this, that, and the rest. So, but did Jesus die for my sins? I have contemplated on this a lot.
Right.
And I, as a flat earther, I have to come to this conclusion that if the Vatican and other entities...
But the Vatican is not Jesus.
No.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
And I read a 250-year Bible just the other day.
Right.
And a Protestant Bible. And in that, at the back page, they talk about how the Vatican and the Popery are the Antichrist.
Of course.
So I, but the point is that if they were going to go to the extent of lying about who you are, what this world is, and
Can
all
I
that
just
sort
pause
of
you for a
stuff,
sec? Did you, in your view, did you just marry the Vatican with representing Jesus? Is that
No.
it was the opposite of that?
But this is my point: is that
Sorry.
even though I was brought up in an Anglican church, a Protestant church, we're all given this one truth, or this one story, which is that Jesus died for your sins.
Right.
So, if that was the most important truth that we had to know, why would they go to the trouble of designing a globe that was all fake and so on? So, for me, because if I know the truth that Jesus died for my sins, then I don't need to know whether you're lying about the globe, because that doesn't matter, because the most important truth
I disagree. So Jesus said, right, repent
Yeah.
and believe in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I said to you, what happens after we die?
Yeah.
So it's all very well saying Jesus died for my sins, right? But there are people that can be like, oh yeah, well Jesus died for my sins, but I'm about to go and
Commit
have
a
sex with
crime.
this child, and I'm going to,
Yeah,
because Jesus
yeah.
died for my sins.
Yeah.
So you clearly haven't understood the message of the
Yeah.
kingdom, because
Yeah.
Jesus had the gospel message
Yeah.
of the kingdom.
Yeah.
What's the kingdom? The kingdom is the kingdom that Jesus will bring with him when he returns.
Okay.
When he renews the earth, I'm not doing that because I think it's a globe. When he renews the earth, and he will rule with an iron scepter, right? That's the 1,000-year reign.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is that if you can believe something, or you can say it with your mouth. So Jesus said, these people worship me with their mouth, but their heart is far from me, because they haven't understood what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so there will come a time when Jesus returns after the Antichrist rule, and the Antichrist is clearly setting up his kingdom right now. You've got the mark of the beast on the edge.
Yeah.
You've got chips going in brains.
Yeah.
You've got cannot buy or sell without the mark.
Yeah.
You've got, people with cameras wanting to film everything that you do.
Yeah.
So obviously the Antichrist system is being set up, which the Bible tells us will happen. But then Jesus will return after a 7-year Antichrist reign, and he will be coming for those who are waiting on his return. Now, what will those who are waiting on his return be doing? They will be doing the exact same thing that Jesus did.
Yeah.
Love your enemy.
Yeah.
Forgive those who hate you. Pray for those who hate you. If somebody asks for your shirt, give them your jacket also.
So you're not going to murder anyone in that state, right?
Of course.
Your heart is but your
Exactly.
heart is in a good place. Your heart
Can I
is
just finish? And then the reason why I believe that is because I know the depth of how evil I was. And I know how evil you are inside in secret, right? And I know it's the same for you. I know you have disgusting thoughts. And I know these things because I know it's true of myself. I know it's true of Cleo. I know it's true of anybody who wants to speak truth with me, right? We're infected by this darkness. But we can choose who we want to follow. You can follow after that darkness. You can follow after Satan, who'll offer you, the Lamborghini for some child trafficking or the whatever.
Yeah.
But God will offer you eternal life if you follow his son.
Mm-hmm.
And following his son means loving your enemy and laying down your own life, right? So the reason why I'm saying all of that is because there's a big difference between saying Jesus died for my sins and then really understanding what it means. Because if I can understand what Jesus has actually forgiven me for, right, then it's incumbent on me to forgive you. Jesus on his way to the cross, what did he say? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, right? Imagine being at that level of depth to know how deceived people are. Even though they're killing you, you're praying for them. And so
there are people in earth that are like that, who kind of who live that way that you just espouse, and you've got to honor and admire those people. What I say to people on the Jesus thing is that Jesus said this, that I am the way, the truth, and the life.
He did.
No one comes to God but through me.
Absolutely.
But I believe that we are created in God's image.
We are. What does that mean, though?
That means that when you look in the mirror, you are looking at an image of God.
Okay,
and then when you say, well, allow me to tell you where I'm at.
Sorry,
Because I am respectful of anyone's religion, but as I used to say to my mother, so if I was born in an Islamic country, it would be Muhammad for me, because that would have been the indoctrination.
That's a big...
Most people are in the religion that their family brought them up in. And most people do not leave.
But that's the same as saying atheism, because atheism is a religion. Yeah. That's just saying that you're brought up in whatever culture.
Yeah, well, this culture is atheistic. The British culture is very atheistic,
I agree with you.
Very science-driven, very materialistic.
Absolutely.
Unconnected to nature and God.
Absolutely.
And that's not by accident. That's by design, because they knew that people were losing faith with religion, and so they needed to give them something else. And I say that NASA is that new religion. This belief that there's aliens and that we're insignificant
I agree with you.
and not created and all that sort of stuff. Well, that is a belief system. I was atheist, and I
Yeah.
know now that I was in a belief system that had been inculcated by
Yeah.
science and by comedy or cartoons and all sorts
Yeah,
of
I
things
agree with
to implant that.
Yeah.
So I say to people that when you look in the mirror and speak the words that Jesus spake, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to God but through me. I believe that it's only through you, and that the temple of God is actually resides within us, each of us. This is why it's called the temple. This is the temple of your head. But when it comes to the darkness, see, God is everything.
So this is pantheism,
God
right?
is, well, no.
This is
no,
pantheism.
No, not at all.
You're saying God is everywhere, God is everything, God is in me.
God is God not all?
It's pantheism. It's like a step away from Hinduism.
I don't, because pantheism is like that there's many gods, but I don't know that it's that necessarily. It's more like one pyramid, and at the top of the pyramid is the Most High, and as you go down the pyramid, you eventually get to your higher
But you're
self.
saying you're a part of the Most High, because
Absolutely.
right, which
How
means
can we
that
be separate from God?
But that
And particularly
mean-
on a flat Earth, it means
Yeah.
that we're all inside of the belly or the mind of God, and that so too is the darkness. In the same way as the winter is a natural part of the cycle of life here, so too is the darkness, because we, each of us, as you said, have the potential for extreme darkness.
Yeah.
But we also have the potential for extreme love.
and that's what it means to be made in the image of God.
Yeah, and so God,
That's
I
what it
believe,
means.
is God. I believe is all the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. all of it
Nah,
is
buddy,
inside
come
of
on,
God.
that makes no sense.
All of it is inside of God.
That part's way off. The
Well,
yin,
how
the
can-
yin and the yang.
How can something
the
be
darkness.
outside of God when God is everything?
You just made that up though. God is not everything.
No.
God in himself is infinite.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and he
So
can
that
create.
means everything.
He can create something, but he's not in the thing that he creates.
Sure.
That's like me saying if I make a phone that I am the phone. I'm not the phone. The phone is separate from me, but I'm outside of it and I made
but
it.
that's not a living thing. But if you made a child, would that child not be yours? Would that not? That,
Yeah, but I'm
that
not in
son
the child.
Would grow up and say, "I am a product of this father."
No, we're two completely separate beings.
In this,
But the child
yes,
can
in
decide
this
whether to
incarnation.
model me or it can decide whether to
Yeah,
model something else.
some gangster
But it's
or
not
whatever.
the same as me.
Yeah.
So when you start blending everything and making everything grey,
Yeah.
that's when everything becomes really dodgy.
Not grey, black and
And-
white. And I say that at the
No,
center of
because
the
yin
black
and
and
yang
white.
is grey. That's what you're saying. You're saying
No,
it's
I'm saying that there's night and day.
because there's a dot of white and a dot of black in
That's
the white
right.
and the black.
Those could
which
be the
is,
sun and the moon.
yeah, this is just
Yeah.
paganism. Yeah, like sun worship, moon worship, all that sort
No,
of
no,
stuff.
heliocentrism is sun worship.
Yeah.
Without in the heliocentric model, we are putting the sun at the center of everything, rather than the earth being the heart. Earth is an anagram for heart, and the heart is the center of your system. And the lower energies, when you're looking at the chakra systems, as they talk about, the lower energies are your sort of stability, but also your angry or so on. And the upper energies, the heavenly energies, are the sort of the sheep, the go along, the go and pray every Sunday and so on, but never really come into harmony, never really have confronted the dark. Like I say to the Muslims, you have to go and confront the dark. You can't just say, I'm going to stay in my spiritual self all the time. You have to be the master of your own ship, having dealt with your own winter. I can't be that for you. You have to go, as you say, you've expressed or been in darkness. And at the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow, it's only you talking to you about whether or not what I did today was poor or whatever. And as I said earlier on at the beginning, if your heart is damaged by this, or your earth is damaged by this experience here, then yes, you are going to be acting either out of cowardice and sheepliness and going along with everything, or you're going to be acting in aggression and fighting everything. So I think that we are meant to be the masters of our own ship, not give it away to someone else. Jesus said, you will go and do greater things than I. He said those words, right? So I believe that he was telling us, don't follow me, follow yourself, but my teachings, because I think of the teachings of the Bible as like the handbook for driving. You go and read the handbook, you learn all the cool code of the road, but it's only you that gets behind the wheel and has to express that in the best way or the worst way that you know how. So you're master of your own ship, not someone else.
I agree with you to the limit of I decide who I follow, but I am not I am not the adjudicator. Neither are you of what's right and wrong.
But if you grow up in Manchester, right?
Yeah.
And you're a football supporter,
Yeah.
the chances are it's going to be Manchester or the other Everton or whatever or Liverpool or Everton. You're going to grow up supporting 90% of the boys in Liverpool support Liverpool or Everton. That's it. They don't support Manchester. They don't support one of the London
That's the
teams,
exact
right?
same way as saying that in this place people are going to believe in atheism, like you just said.
Yeah.
Or people are going to believe
Yeah,
in...
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't answer the question of whether something's true or false.
No,
does
but,
it?
but it will shape your sense of this reality. Like I grew up in apartheid South Africa, and I saw it firsthand how people were turning against their brother and sister who was of black skin,
Right.
simply because of a program that was running in them.
Yeah.
You know, they thought they were righteous. I had a
right.
Scottish
Right.
Bible teacher who told me that the Bible says that black people are meant to be our slaves.
Right.
And that is programming that has been used to the detriment of that person's soul,
Yeah.
in my view. Now, what happens after death? I truly believe that we go back to this loving source, and that all the ills of your time at this place are forgiven. I don't think that we need.
But you're just
Jesus.
making all that up.
I don't. Well, if God is so omnipotent, right?
Yeah.
How is it that only 40% of the earth to this day believe in the Jesus story? 60%.
Because they would rather follow after their own desires. They would rather have a Lamborghini. They would because they get to
they're
choose.
Islamic. The biggest religion, second biggest, is Islam.
Because they get something
They're
from
not
Islam.
about the Ferrari.
They get something from Islam.
But
You follow something because you get something from it. That's why you follow it.
But a loving creator
if-
God would not put this distinction between us, because I think these religions are used to go to war with each other. They would not. It would not allow the Catholic, hegemony over what's gone on in the world. In the last
who are they
200
representing
years,
though? Who are the Catholics representing?
Yeah. Well,
are they
is it the
representing
Antichrist?
Jesus?
Or is it the Antichrist?
Perhaps.
But they claim this. They'll say, believe that Jesus
They
died for
will
your
claim
sins.
it. But if I claim I'm an NBA player, does that make it true?
No. No.
So how do we validate whether a Catholic is truly following Jesus or not? We go and follow what Jesus said. What did Jesus say? Love my enemy.
Yeah.
He rebukes Simon Peter for raising a sword, right? He goes to the crucifix and allows himself to be killed out of love to save all of us, right? So then somebody raising up a sword, Jesus even said, and the day that I return, many will come and say, Lord, Lord, did we not do everything in your name? Did we not cast out demons? Did we not champion your name in front of everybody, right? So they're all using the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
But then he will turn to those people and say, get away from me, I never knew you. But those people are coming to him and they're calling him Lord because they really thought they were following him, but they weren't following him. They were following a version of him, the same way, if I may humbly say, that you are. They create a version of Jesus. They use his name, but it's not him.
Right.
And they will come to him at the end of it and they'll be like, Lord, I thought I was following you, but you actually weren't, because you refused to give up your own life. You refuse to give up the idea that you are in control of anything, because you're not. You're just an ant, like me.
So a lady in Bangladesh who spends her whole life feeding homeless people, doing good deeds for her community, but never falls into the Jesus narrative, she is.
You're
gonna
just
be
straw
looked
manning, though.
down
You're
on.
just creating a straw man, because we have no idea what's in that woman's heart. You have no idea. You have no idea.
The same applies to anyone in any belief system. You don't really know what's in their heart, And
Exactly. You don't know what's in my heart, and Jesus will decide it at the end of all of it.
Well, that's the most important thing. Now we could just debate whether it's Jesus or God or whatever, but I agree with that. I think that there is a sort of a price to be paid, perhaps, for our misdeeds, and our living in a dark heart. One could say that it's simply that this lifetime becomes a living hell for that person, or it could be in the afterlife that there is something that happens. But we don't really know that. I know that I'm not simply going to live my life, devil may care and do harm and all that sort of stuff, because it doesn't make me feel good. Will I get prizes at the end for it? Maybe, but I'm not doing it for prizes. The Muslims do it for the 72 virgins, or that's one of the
That's
stories.
the difference,
and so on.
right?
But even this sort of salvation, which
But sorry,
has
you
been
asked
used
me
to control people via the church, right?
Okay,
And
so how am I being controlled?
I'm not necessarily speaking about you.
That's why I'm
talking
separating
about
myself
I'm
from.
talking about how the story of the human sort of progress has been controlled by a force. The Catholics forcing their belief system.
Yeah, like the
on
Jews at
people.
Jesus' time. Same thing. Pharisees, Sadducees, they controlled the people through religion.
Yeah, left and
But we're
right.
not talking about religion, are we? We're
Left and
talking
right.
about the truth or not the truth. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Is that true?
Well,
Is that true?
as I say, to repeat those words, when we look in the mirror, we're talking to ourselves. Which
But
is where
Jesus is saying it about him. He's not saying it about the other people. He's saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Well, I don't believe Jesus is God, just for the record. I believe he's the Son of God. But go on, sorry.
Well, I mean, obviously we're agreeing on a lot of things.
We are.
We're not necessarily on the same page with stuff, but I think what we do agree on is that we're meant to live in a loving way towards our fellow expression of, the Creator, because that's what we are. We are created in God's image. I don't know that there's a separation. Those people over there, they were not creating God's image. Only us, this unique group. So if you're living your life in a way of love towards your fellow man, and as you were espousing earlier on about how we should lay down our lives and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Defend yourself, because you're allowed to. The Bible says that you can defend yourself.
No, Jesus didn't defend himself.
This is the difference. Comes to your house and he's going to harm your child, right?
This is the difference.
You're going to allow that to happen.
I would pray that God would give me His Spirit to be able to. I would never want to harm the other person.
No.
In the same way that Jesus, because Jesus didn't defend himself, did he?
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Maybe we disagree. I think that self-defense is a prerequisite. You should be able to defend yourself against someone who's coming to cause you harm.
So Jesus said that he who wants to keep his life will lose it.
Yeah.
He who will lose his life for my sake will keep it for life eternal. So if you give your life up, your actual life, right? If you stop believing that this world is all there is and that I should fight to stay alive in this world, you'll stop gripping onto this world.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I did as being a flat earther. For 7 years now, I've stepped out of the matrix. The last 5 years, I've been so-called homeless. I won't go to the government and ask them for funds or anything like that. I want to create my own way, be the master of my own ship. It's been a choppy seas,
right?
But I have sort of, if you like, eschewed the materialist system that the beast has created and said, no, I see the darkness there and I'm not going to participate in it as much as is possible. And so I have, if you like, given away my life. My family have rejected me. People I cared about have rejected me because they don't, just like in the experience of Jesus, that people do not want to hear that message, and they will crucify you. My family, if they know that I'm struggling to put food on the table for my family, will not send me money. They will not help me out. So in a way, there has been a death of belief in or connection to this beast system. And I encourage others to say, hey, you should walk away, or if you can, build your way away from connection as much as possible to what is clearly a satanic beast system. From the banking system to the religion to the wars and all of those sorts of things. Now, if you've seen those things and you continue to play along, then you need to check yourself and go, you know what, I need to find a different way. It's not easy because we've all been educated to be code punchers in the system. So breaking out and becoming your own master is extremely hard, but I believe that's the mission we're on, rather than simply being hidden inside of a flock. And all of us, and I believe there's 30,000 different Christian denominations and many other religions.
And Jesus said, many will come and say, Lord, Lord, and I will say, get away from me, I never knew you. Because they were following a church, they weren't following Jesus.
Well, and so I do not dishonor what Jesus' message is, and that he spoke these words and so on. But I do not think that he was...
But you're rejecting his sacrifice.
No.
Because you don't believe you need him to be forgiven of sins?
As I said, I've had to make significant... I'm not looking to put myself on a pedestal alongside Jesus, but I've also had to make significant sacrifices in order to carry the truth that I carry, or to speak the truth that I carry. I've had to make huge sacrifices in my life. And others in the Flat Earth community, for example, have had to make huge sacrifices to hold this.
In a way, have you not made Flat Earth God to you?
No.
The God of your life?
No.
Where you've sacrificed for Flat Earth knowledge?
No. Flat Earth is like a gateway.
Okay.
It's only a gateway. It's really not...
That was an accusatory question, by the way. It was an open question.
Yeah, no, it's more... It's for me, it's like a gateway to really beginning to understand who we truly are. Now, in Flat Earth, there are a lot of Christians. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, I bet.
It's, and all of them will say, how can you read the Bible and not see that it's talking about an unmoving flat Earth with a roof? They all like it. So there's a lot of people who will hold to their faith, even people who are Islamic or Muslim will say, the Quran says that the sun and the moon are small lights and they travel over the sky and blah, blah, blah. But they're not going to give up Muhammad as their prophet. And I'm not going to judge them for that. And I do not think that God, if they're living as good men and doing good works and so on, that God is going to hold that against them.
Okay, so bring it into a courtroom, right? So the Bible teaches very clearly there'll be a judgment day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
like a frisbee. Like a frisbee. Yeah, like a frisbee. Drive around the town. Doesn't make it a ball.
So, if, let's say, for example, I've done something to offend you greatly, like I've killed a family member of yours,
we then go to a judgment, and there's a judge, and I then start pleading with the judge, saying, listen, I give to charity. I did the same thing that woman you said did, right? I bled my life out for the good of others. Yeah, I've still done that crime.
Yes.
Yeah, and in order for God to remain just, right, which He has to be just in order for everything to be fair, there has to be payment for what I've done.
Yeah, eye for an eye.
No, so something has. If it's not an eye for an eye,
no,
because if you're it used to be an Old Testament for the Jews, absolutely. But in a courtroom, if you think about it like this, because you're saying, everything will just be forgiven. But if that's the case, then it literally is do as thou wilt. You're literally speaking like Satan.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're speaking Satan's
words. Yeah, I know
words.
that Aleister Crowley made that.
No, but you're saying it.
Famous.
Yeah, but you're saying those words.
No, I've also prefaced that by saying there's the golden rule, so it's to do no harm.
Yeah, but
that's the first principle.
But people are not following that.
But that's
because you're not
matter.
No, but you're not capable of it either.
But if
you can't do no harm.
But if you've caused, like let's say you knock someone down in a road traffic accident, people are, when they come to judge you, they might in a court of law say, this guy generally does good works, it was a momentary lapse, right?
Doesn't matter.
Versus you're a boy racer and all you do is race up and down, you've been warned about this and so on, and then you go and kill someone like that, then the court are probably going to look less favorably on that. But
for a just God, because again, coming back to that example, if I pleaded with the judge, and he then went, you know what, I can see all of that, you've done so much, you've not received justice, and that is a corrupt judge, right? Because he hasn't executed justice, and so this whole like airy fairy yin and yang and everything is going to be forgiven, and there is no, it makes no sense. Because in that world there is no justice. There's this kind of fairy land of.
Well, let me share.
I'm kind, you're kind. Well, no, we're not.
Okay, let me share a little personal experience that changed my life. I was an atheist, and in 2015 I was in Johannesburg, and I ran into this old Jewish friend of mine who'd been living in the Himalayas for like 20 years, tattoos over all his body. He said, "Have you ever tried ayahuasca or DMT, dimethyltryptamine?" I hadn't heard about it, didn't know anything about it, right? I did, when in the 80s and 90s, I did ecstasy and mushrooms and acid.
Yeah, a friend of mine got really badly damaged by DMT and ayahuasca.
Well, let me, if I may share my experience. Of course. I went in as an atheist at 47 years old, and 7 minutes later, my first words were, "It's true, there is a God." Now, as I went into that experience, the first 30 seconds, it felt like all the traumas and all the ills of my life were being ripped from me. It was frightening as heck. It was the most frightening thing I've ever been through.
I bet
and
it was.
It felt like, at the time, I'm thinking like, I'm dying, and all of my ills are being taken from me. And then when I came through that dying phase, I was immersed in a love that was greater than my mother's love. It was such an immense, beautiful, all-encompassing love. So that, I've researched near-death experiences, I've researched other people's ayahuasca and DMT experiences, and I know there are some darker elements to it. But
he just kept on doing it, and then it got darker and darker.
Well, that's what happens. You can't do it too much.
Well, why not? Good question to ask, huh?
Well, because you really are maybe messing with the fabric of reality.
Maybe you're messing with something you shouldn't be messing with. Maybe this thing that you felt love from is not God. Maybe it's something else.
Do you think that God,
I think it's Satan.
God created all the seeds bearing plants.
I think the world is filled with sin, and everything's warping. In the same way we have disabilities, we have all the same way seeds have now turned into darkness. They've been affected by Satan. Because Satan's the god of this world.
Now you know that DMT exists in your lungs, and you can create a DMT flood by going into a dark room. And
neither of us are scientists, right? So we can say, "Oh, DMT exists in your lungs." It's like, okay.
The Chinese.
We're talking about a molecule which is so complicated. You have no idea what is in the molecule that's outside of you and what's in. You can't just go, "Oh, look, DMT in my lungs, DMT outside. Ooh, let's have some more." It's not how it works.
The Chinese are famous for doing this dark room thing where they spend 7 days in a dark room and they can have these transitory experiences.
I bet they can, yeah.
So, and this is all being created because of the darkness and the lack of production from the serotonin into melatonin or something, and it creates this DMT flood. Now, DMT is found in the pineal gland, which is a real thing in the center of your brain. And so, some of this is actually understood, and so going through an experience like that as an atheist,
again,
have that-
you're saying, you're drawing parallels between things that aren't necessarily parallel. So you have a whole bunch of geezers sitting in a dark room for 7 days. Okay, so what were they doing in there for 7 days? What were they aiming for? What was the desire of their heart? What was the intention? What were they trying to do? I can have spiritual experience, of course, right? And I've had multiple spiritual experiences, massively powerful ones, that were nothing to do with weed, nothing to do with DMT. I've had experiences with drugs as well. But my point is that you can have an experience in the same way you've had an experience. Doesn't make it God. It could make it your God, but it might not be the ultimate true one God who is just, holy, righteous, merciful, loving, kind.
Yeah. Let me
all
clarify.
of these characteristics.
I never said that I
But
spoke to
one
God.
thing. But all
I
I'm
never
saying is
said I
that.
spoke to God.
But
What I saw was my higher self, and I felt like God was somewhere, but I wasn't in direct contact with God.
But you
This
were a
was
part
my-
of God as a result of that.
Well,
that's my point. That's the
everything-
conclusion, and that's what Satan
yeah.
would want.
I've
That's the perfect belief system for Satan.
No, I'd go
It's
so far as
perfect,
to say
because you
that
can
we
do
live-
whatever you want and you'll be okay.
I go
It's
so
not
far
true.
as to suggest
not
that
true.
we might live inside the lung
No,
of
you've
God.
been deceived. It's not true.
Well, this
It's
is
not true because he's making you believe something that's not true. Because there's a judgment, and the only way for us to be forgiven, the only way, is through a sacrifice of the Son. It's the only way.
According to
You can't negotiate your way with God.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Did God create all seed-bearing plants on earth?
God created everything originally, yes, and then the world fell when mankind, who was the protector of earth, we were the shepherd of earth, absolutely. When we then turned away from God and believed in Satan, because Satan said, "What? Ye shall be as gods."
Yeah.
That's what he said. He
Right.
said the same thing to you.
Right.
He said the same thing to you.
Yeah.
He's
No,
deceiving you.
I do not.
Veil, isn't it? A veil that you're walking in, with this veil over you.
What do you mean?
Well, what you're saying, you think you're walking in the land of God, but it's like a trickery, isn't it?
Well, so God gave Adam and Eve his instructions. He said, "This is all yours, but just don't disobey me." Right? Satan came along and said, "Hey, listen, the reason God wants you to not disobey him is because if you do, you will be like gods." That's what he said. He said you'll be in control of your own stuff. The exact same thing that you've been told.
But don't you think this beast
And then they
system
went,
doesn't
"You know
want
what?
you to be
I do
powerful?"
want to be like that."
But don't you
Right?
think this beast system doesn't want us to be powerful? For me,
Oh, powerful is an
understanding-
interesting word, you see. You're
understanding
using powerful.
Understanding the globe deception and the minimalization of God's intention and creation is about robbing you of your true power. So if anything's
no,
going on
man.
in the world,
True power,
religion
this is dangerous.
and the governments are robbing
But
you
you're
of
playing
the
in
power.
their game by even using the word power, you see? Jesus says, "He who exalts himself will be humbled on my return. He who humbles himself will be exalted when I return." Right? It's the same premise of giving up your life on this earth.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all of this to you not to be right or wrong. I'm saying because I love you.
Thank you.
I really mean that.
Thank you.
Like
I
I love
appreciate
you and I really hope that you come. And I'm not trying to exalt myself saying, "You need to believe what I
know the
believe because
truth,
then
yeah.
you'll be better."
My truth is the only truth.
Right, because it's not my truth, right? There's either the truth or it's a lie.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of this because everything you're saying, not everything you're saying, the key elements of what you're saying are straight out of Satan's mouth. But there's so much other stuff of what. But the perfect thing for Satan to do would be to mix truth and lies, wouldn't it?
Of course.
Right?
And that's the world we come from.
So it could
mixture
be
of truth and
possible,
lies.
and it's also possible for me, of course. I'm not saying I have the whole truth, otherwise I'd be Jesus. But what I'm saying to you is that there's a big possibility here that you've been fed something with a very powerful spiritual experience that maybe isn't true.
Can I hold the mirror up?
Yeah, you can hold a mirror up.
So that applies to us.
Oh, of
both.
course, that's why I said. Yeah.
And that's why I think this flat earthers is such an important gateway. It doesn't mean you will walk away from Christianity. I do not think that. Because as I said, many flat earthers are, if not 40%, maybe more.
Do you not agree that what I've said makes sense? And what you've said doesn't quite make sense
Well,
because
yeah,
it's very...
But remember, what you're repeating is
Ethereal.
stuff that's in the King James Version.
Well, not necessarily, because as you go to the Septuagint, the King James, of course, has some Trinitarian weird stuff in there. If you go to the original Septuagint and you go to the original Hebrew manuscripts, you can see very clearly what's written.
Yeah, I've just listened to so many great scholars, and you're obviously well read, so I appreciate that. But I've listened to many great scholars from different houses, from different schools, and all of them come with a similar conviction and a similar insight onto what the story is according to their perspective on that. And I've go like, well, if we've only had the printing press for a few hundred years, it's not been possible to disseminate God's word via the book. So how would you do that? You would write the truth on their man's heart so that he could find the truth for himself and not need another teacher.
I agree
because
with
that
you,
other
totally.
teacher might well be intentionally or otherwise deceived or deceiver.
Yeah.
So the truth should be written on our own hearts, which is really where I've tried
But that
to
doesn't
go
work
to find
that doesn't work anywhere, does it?
Well, again,
Because my
say,
truth is I want to kill you and take your stuff.
Yeah, again, I say the puppies in the cage. Because
But we're not
we've all
talking about
been
puppies.
put
Talk
in
about me.
cage.
Talk about me and you, right?
Man has been put. Imagine if we knew that we were all from the same creator and we all loved one another. Love one
Yeah, we're
another
actually
as I
brothers
love
and
you.
sisters, yeah.
And that song they taught us in Sunday school.
Yeah.
Well, if we all lived in that way,
Yeah.
then
That's
there
the
would
kingdom
not
to
be
come.
this disharmony.
That's the kingdom to come.
And perhaps, and this is perhaps where we can end it, but perhaps the disharmony is almost like God sitting on the footstool going, I've got to allow the disharmony to play out.
He does.
Because once it gets to a zenith point, that's the point in which we flush, we come down or whatever. So it's almost like I'm like, okay, the devil's in charge here, if that's the case.
Yeah.
And that train has been running for thousands of years and may be coming to the end of the line.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be on the train. I want to step off the train and go, I'm going to be with nature, with God.
But that whole same story, but you've just gone off on the last bit.
Yeah, well...
Because you've said, oh, I'm not on the train, but in the same way, like does the sin that you do, right? Like the lies, the theft, all the things of your past, all the disgusting stuff you've done, the pornography you've watched, right? Through watching pornography, you're encouraging child sex trafficking, you're funding it through where your eyeballs are, through advertising. This whole darkness that we get involved
and
with.
the eyeballs
right?
are the window to the soul.
They are.
So what you take in affects your soul.
King James said that. Be careful. But what I'm saying is that the sin that you do, right? Does it break your heart that you've done that stuff?
No. I realize that I live in a fallen world.
Yeah.
And I went to war as a kid when I was 19 in Angola. But that was the program that I was running. Now I know better. I'm not going to join in the war. I'm not going to watch porn. I'm not going to engage in those things that make
Is the
me
things
feel
that you've done so bad that you feel so much shame that you can't say, do you know what, that breaks my heart?
I mean, there's things that I would perhaps like to redo, but I like to see these sort of as tests and experiences. Like I said to the Muslims, I can't stop my children from ever touching alcohol. I need them to go to the alcohol, realize it's, give them a warning, but realize that it's harming them for themselves, and then walk without alcohol. And the same is true with someone who commits crime or hurts someone. So eventually go to a point where, damn, I do not like what I've been doing or the man that I've become. So I'm going to walk in a more righteous or upright way. And that's the only way you can get to that is by, you've come out of the cage, you're going and biting other people and so on. And eventually you go, you know what,
That's not the only way. That's not the only way.
No, of course, but then the Muslims would say, look how many we're recruiting in the prisons, bad boys in the prisons.
Yeah, and the Muslims, then you can also ask the Muslim what he wants, what his desire is. What is his desire? 72 virgins.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's necessarily
Well, tell me another one. Tell me another desire.
To live in harmony.
To live in harmony. Under what rule? Well, under what a Sharia law says?
Well, some of Sharia law is reasonable, and and some of it is not. But the same is, in the Bible, they tell you to circumcise your boy, your child.
Okay.
And that's the first wounding that's done to you when you're born, is to cut off something that God created.
Okay, do you know why circumcision was?
I know why, but I understand.
Well, the thing is, you know why, so you know that's not an argument.
No, it is, because it's saying you should circumcise, you should sacrifice your firstborn and all of these sorts of things.
Sacrifice your firstborn? Yeah. You mean sacrifice the firstborn of your animals? Because you're now misrepresenting God. You think he should sacrifice
didn't Herod call for all the firstborn sons and all that?
Yeah, he did. That's Herod to try to kill Jesus. Yeah, you got some twisted up stuff there, pal.
But we'll stay on the circumcision.
But hang on, because
the first crime against God's creation.
But words have so much meaning, and I just saw so much of what you believe in there is false, which is keeping you away from what's true. The fact that you just spewed some of that out, that should scare you, because you've just gone, but yeah, Christianity. I'm like, whoa, buddy. No, it's nothing to do with the Bible, what you've just said.
But people have gone to war for Christianity over ages, right?
I already made that point. I'm an NBA player, right? Yeah. Is that true?
Well, we've got evidence of us having killed many.
I can take this logo, I can put it on my t-shirt and I can run out there and I can start slicing people's heads off and going, I'm a flat earth FE guy. Yeah? And then everyone around me will be like, oh, those FE guys are evil, man, stay away from them. Yeah. Did I represent you properly?
No.
Right. No. So throw that argument away.
But you're not representing me, you're representing yourself.
No, because I'm claiming to represent Jesus.
No.
You know what the word Christian...
No, you're representing
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm
It doesn't
claiming
matter
it.
what religion you belong to. Your behavior is yours, not the religions. You can't put it on Islam if some guy goes and machetes someone.
But that's what you're doing. You're saying what about the Catholics doing the Crusades,
do.
or what about the Ottoman Empire? What about
and in the name of religion?
in the name of religion? Right. This is what I'm saying. But did the person that they're claiming to follow tell them to go and do that?
Well, in the case of like Quran, and of course there's the Medina phase.
Yeah, it's all
where,
true. Yeah, warmongers. Yeah.
There was all of that. Yeah. But yes, look at what the Catholics. Thank you. The Catholics have done. The Catholics have done in the name of truly, good people, in the name of what they believe. And so we've done a lot.
But were they following Jesus when they did it?
They would say they were.
They would, but were they? Can you and I read the words of Jesus?
Of course
and can
not.
we? Of course not.
No.
So then why are you using that against belief in Jesus? Because they're not representing... you see what I'm saying? It's a false argument.
I was saying the Bible, not Jesus. Jesus is that part of the Bible is less than a third of the Bible, right? The New Testament.
Well, the whole thing's about Jesus from beginning to end.
Yeah, but...
Isaiah prophesying about the Messiah that will come.
Yeah.
We're going to be saved by God's going to send a Savior. Yeah. The whole thing is about Jesus.
But 6 out of 8 people on earth don't believe that.
Yeah, that's because their desires are different, right?
Well, no,
they don't want Jesus.
The programming is different.
That's a belief. Anyway, it was really lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been great.
High level conversation.
Yeah.
Greg.
Greg, I'm Dave.
Dave, nice to meet you, Dave.
It's been fun.
This is Cleo, my wife.
All right. Lovely to meet you. Can you take my little flyer on electromagnetic? Give Greg, given our lovely conversation.
Nice to meet you, my love.
All the best.
Did you say it was Dave?
Yeah, Dave.
Dave. All right,
God
Dave.
go with you, Greg.
All right, God bless you.
All the best.
Take care. All right.
Cheers. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Oh, well, that was a good conversation.
Very cool guy.
Much respect. And keep going. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We've been lied to. You play on a pitch, you don't play on a ball. Earth is flat, man, not a globe. They lied to us at school. Earth is flat, man. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. We don't evolve from monkeys. Little drink. No, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a pretty cool exchange. And of course, if there is a God, I think that the God can see my heart and the sincerity with which I engage in life. And by that, Greg was, he kept bringing up a lot of dark ideation, with swords and whatnot. But do no harm, that is the golden rule. So long as that's hard to conceive of without reading a book to tell you that, hopefully your family have not put you in a cage and starved you such that you go around. And of course that's what our family and society city construct and material construct is doing, is putting us against it. Earth is flat, man, not a spinning ball. Right? Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Yeah, so if you're able to help us with funding the new banner and posters and flyers, Earth is flat, no spinning ball. If you're able to help us with that, I know I've got some card bills coming up that are really to do with paying. I'm going to get the card serviced. It's MOT, which is the Ministry of Transport annual thing that you have to do. And the car's got some engine problems, so it's not going to be the cheapest to fix it. So if you can throw something in the tin, Earth is flat, sir, not a spinning ball.
Yeah, without a doubt. When you go back and look at it now. Yeah, go back and have a look. It's embarrassingly bad.
Hey, space is fake, man. Earth is flat, not a spinning globe. They lied to us about that. Earth is flat, young man, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, ladies, not a spinning globe. Huh? Another half hour?
Yeah.
Another half hour. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Half hour?
good.
Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Nice, Steve. Trinity, thanks for putting those links in there. So National Memorial Gardens. Trinity's, I've just sent you my new solfeggio album. I'm trying to promote that to you, Alex. Alex Michael's new solfeggio, softer and good for your vibration. 4 through 2 hertz, no doubt. Well done, Alex. He's a bit of a perfectionist, is Alex Michael. So it'll be good stuff. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Hi, Fort Jacks. Fort Jacks, you've been a great supporter. I appreciate your buy me a coffees. Andrea totted it up the other day. She said it's over £100 that Fort Jacks has sent us over the time. So I really appreciate that, mate. Really, really do. Tapper threw something in the tin when I saw him at the festival. That was very kind of him. Dave was too, actually. He gave us a little something towards dinner and so on. So I appreciate that. Doesn't mean I'm shilling for him because he did that. I'm open-minded about all sorts of things when it comes to the community of Flat Earth. However, I'm very aware that there's people who are pretty divisive. They think they're doing right, but they're actually playing out the same classroom kind of, oh, he's doing better than we are, and he must be a this and he must be that, or he doesn't say this or he doesn't say that. Well, I don't always say everything that loads of other people believe. Earth is flat, guys, not a spinning ball. Earth is flat, not a rock. NASA fake space. NASA fake space. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, folks. Nice work here, Dino. Something to leave behind.
No, they have to have fun.
Yeah, I think if we are these higher beings that I was just talking about, the Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. Space is faked by NASA and Disney. Never went to the moon. Water is always going to find level.
Definitely did go to the moon.
You think so? Why haven't we been back in 50 years? With 1960s technology, they can do things we can't do today. Not true. Not real. Oh, what a lovely sound. Sorry about this. Living out in the countryside as we have done for a little while, you really don't miss that. Earth is flat, man, not a spinning rock. They faked the evolution. Did you know that we don't come from monkeys? Earth is flat, not a spinning ball in space. Space is fake. Let me get my new flyers going. So those who have been contributing, some of your funds have gone towards paying for new flyers and banner. So I appreciate that. But if you're able to throw something else in the tin, that's always welcome. I've got a whole series of Speaker's Corners coming up in August. Earth is flat, my friends. We've been lied to about the globe. Space is fake.
What a load of bollocks.
Yeah, water's always going to find level, right? Can't put water on a ball. Can't put water on a ball. Gravity is a religion. Gravity is a belief.
Why do you fly around there after it's flat?
How do you drive around this town and it's not a ball? Earth is flat, man. Earth is flat, not a ball. Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning rock in space. Monkeys don't evolve into humans, and we can't walk under a ball. Earth is flat because water is always going to find level. And there's no proof for spinning. Earth is flat, my friends. Dorking, Earth is not a spinning rock in space. NASA is Disney for children, for adults. NASA is Disney for adults. Earth is flat. We cannot live on a ball floating in space. Space is fake. Earth is flat. Hear it here first. Break the algo. Yeah, I don't want to take sides in the flat earth community. You know, just base people on their energy that they bring to the party. Some people still bring a lot of vitriol. You know, I don't understand why that guy Odell on the curve thinks that we're rising and so on. And so I completely disagree with his theory. You know, but at the same time, you know, he's been out there sort of holding the argument, you know, like Nathan Oakley, holding the argument, or... I'm good, thanks. Oh, that was kind, but I'm never hungry when doing activism. Man, the earth is flat, not a spinning rock. It's space. But, you know, and so if I judge Dave Weiss on, you know, the man that I met for a few days recently, you know, his heart's in the right place. He's doing what, you know, the best that he can with what his skills and talents he has, and I applaud him for that. Someone's taking a picture of my art. Thank you. Sorry, ma'am. I thought my tinnitus was playing up. He was beeping at me. But I'm thinking. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball in space. Water is always going to find level. And there's no experiment to prove that the earth is spinning. We are not moving. The sky is moving. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. You can't live on a wheel. Earth is flat, bro, not a spinning rock. Space is fake. Cheers. It's round. Like my face.
Throwing sweets at me from round the corner when I was doing this on my own one evening after work. And they all kept round the corner, then they're throwing sweets at me, and then they're hiding.
It's incredible, eh? That it brings this reaction. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. The vacuum of space is theoretical. Earth is flat, gravity is a hoax. Gravity is density and buoyancy. Gravity is density and buoyancy. What's that? Well, you know how a football will float on the water, yeah? Try and push it under the water, and that football is doing everything it can to get back up again, yeah? To neutral buoyancy. A helium balloon, you have to hold on to it, otherwise it flies away. That's buoyancy, not gravity.
Are you guys English?
Yeah. But there's flat earthers all over the flat earth.
You could be with your kids, man. You're out here, though. What are you streaming?
Sorry?
Well, you could be at home. Then what are you streaming on?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
What's your YouTube?
Trinity 4. Trinity 4 man. Look it up.
Hey, we're on a stream.
Yeah, you're on the live stream. Trinity for Man, number 4. They do like to play up once they know they're on a stream, so.
So the ocean, it's flat.
So yeah, Earth is flat, my friends, not a spinning rock. NASA is Disney for adults. You can't walk under a ball because water is always going to find level. Not quite the whole sentence, but Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. We've been lied to about who we are and where we are. The Earth is not a spinning rock in space. We are on a flat plane, unmoving. Earth is flat. Didn't want to be on cam. At least the council are probably filming him. By the way, thinking about council filming, you know, in London, they have introduced this something called the ultra low emission zone. And they've got cameras on almost every street, pretty much, that are catching the cars that are moving around. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Liquid must be contained, otherwise it will fall off the globe. And everybody's up in arms about having to pay. Earth is flat. Check it out.
I don't want to. Go away.
Keep an open mind. Classic. Earth is flat.
That might be a new executive day. We'll have to just stand at a busy junction.
Yeah, flying at the junction. Yeah, there's some value in that. We used to do that in the early days of my gym business career. You know, just fly promotional stuff at the traffic lights. You could do that in South Africa. I don't know about here. Yeah, so what was I talking about? Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Some information, ma'am? Some information on the flat Earth? Earth is flat, Dorking. Water is always going to find level. And we're not spinning. There's no proof that we are spinning. Earth is unmoving, and the stars move over our head once a day. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. Rocks don't float. Gravity is a belief system, a religion. Earth is flat, ma'am. Take some information home with you.
Okay, call it a day.
Yep. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. Have a nice day. All sea levels are the same on Earth. Water is always going to find one level. So, so I'm doing a live stream with Dave Weiss on Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. UK. So I look forward to seeing you on that. Please come by, and particularly if you're a moderator, because I suspect Dave Weiss comes with a gaggle of what they call it, flat Earth haters or whatever, the anti-flat earthers, who are super triggered and spend their life trying to derail the truth from getting out. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball in space. Space is fake. So we've also got this workshop. It's a free masterclass, 8 p.m. UK time on Monday, the 22nd of July. This is about the go within, as within, so without, you know. Working on, you know the truth now about what the deceptions are out there, but what about within? Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. You know, we have to go within if we're going to heal ourselves from the... Well, we're going to heal ourselves. We're going to return to our better self, our higher self. You know, we have to do that inner work. We can't be lost in this melee, you know, which is what this is. And I know we need people that are holding the fort at the various camps, whether it be Tartaria, Flat Earth, you know, all sorts of things. But that's not all she wrote. whatever the truth is of our story, our history, the truth of this earth, your place on it is the most important thing. And where you are balanced, as I was saying to was it James or Roger, it's you've got to come into harmony. And I know Christians are reprogrammed to kind of hate anything that sounds a bit new agey, but I think that you are meant to be the master, and the harmony is within you. Only you can walk in harmony. You can walk in anger, wanting to go around and cause harm. You can walk in fear and put a mask on. You can do all of these things. But at the end of the day, you are meant to be your own master and find that harmony from within. So our masterclass is scratching the surface of that. So come along, email me for the link. It's a Zoom link, and we'll send that out. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock in space. NASA is Disney for adults. It's all CGI cartoons, harnesses, green screen. They fake space to keep you small.
Free information and truth, it's down the floor.
The edge is blocked by the Antarctica wall. There's the block of ice.
So yeah, that's what's coming up. As I said, doing Speaker's Corner in August, so Sundays, and much as I can. And also, Andrew and I are both talking at a festival in Sussex. And it's the end of August. I'll give you more information, so if you're in the area, I've spoken there before last year. Last year I spoke there, and I am some I'm actually on the film. But I don't know if I can get enough on yet. Pay enough. We'll see. It's pretty nice to see the comments, support if you can. So, should we call it a day then? Sorry about that, the mic is pointing away from me, so when I move the camera away, so I'm at full screen, it kind of does that effect. Apologize for that. So thank you very much for your time, and just
Yeah.
I wish you well.